5 more minutes on fish.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ORly Radio Show 19 live stream broadcast. We are going to start off with some just regular old pre-show BS, and then we're actually going to get into it. So hold on to your butts, and we're going to just get into it and make sure that we know what the heck we're talking about so that we don't bore the people in the actual edited MP3 that will be available on the webpage. So there is still time to call us in at 470-222-ORLY, or that's 6759. So you can still contribute to the show and, well, maybe make us sound smart. No, I'm probably
stretching a little bit.
I might be stretching. Oh, yeah, just pull that one right up. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's all good. No problem. But we'll give it a shot. Susan Gerbic was kind enough to give us an updated promo for Guerrilla Skepticism on Wikipedia, GSOW. So that's a nice relationship that we've got going on there. And I see that, oh good, Mr. Robinson might be joining us here soon.
Is she playing an audio file from us?
She has been sending me a wave of for audio for as a promo, and then I'll integrate it into the show opening.
No. I mean, like, have we recorded something for her?
No, well, she doesn't have a podcast,
so
that wouldn't really work.
Damn it.
Yeah, I know, but they're doing some great work. I actually found their main website. It's GorillaSkeptics.com. UERRILLA skeptics.com, which takes you out to Guerrilla Skeptics on Wikipedia.blogspot.com. And their tagline: the mission of Guerrilla Skepticism editing team is to improve skeptical content on Wikipedia. We do this by improving pages on our skeptic spokespeople, providing noteworthy citations, and removing the unsourced claims from paranormal and pseudo-scientific pages. Why? Because evidence is cool. We train, we mentor, join us.
Or die.
Cuckoo-cuckoo, Mr. Robinson.
I don't think they're that intense.
This has nothing to do with camping.
Join us or die?
Intense? I see.
Do they have Death Stars? We got Death Stars. We got Death Stars. We got Death Stars. No? Nobody? Never mind.
This week's program is brought to you by Samuel Adams Oktoberfest, because it's out now, and I love it.
Let me find out about that podcast.
It is? I did not know that.
It is. I found it at a finer BJ's location near me.
Well, now I have to go find some.
Big old fat display of it.
Speaking of beer, I'm going to go see if I have any left.
Okay, do that. We are live streaming right now. This is just the pre-show stuff, so.
Right.
Rock and roll.
I shall be right back as well.
Suddenly I'm left alone.
We got to booze up, man.
Yeah.
Yes, booze up.
Yours.
I do. Well, I.
This bottle's bigger than my bicep.
Oh, and that's saying something. You got some guns there.
It's 1.3 liter.
Okay.
1.75 liter.
That sounds good. Booyah.
It's not saying much. I'm more geek than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, but...
Well, he's very built for being a geek, because he is a geek.
He is. He's huge.
What?
Okay, getting into the...
I don't think this bottle's bigger than Dwayne's biceps. They are bigger. It is bigger than mine.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
And it's a Pinnacle vodka imported from France, and it is smooth. Most smooth.
Oh, smooth. Mm-hmm.
It's smooth.
Smooth.
For anybody that's actually watching this ranting live stream, we do also have a IRC. That's Internet Relay Chat for those of you under the age of 30. And you can get that out on our webpage at ORlyRadio.com, ORly radio.com.
Fuck you, Andy. I knew what that meant, and I'm under 30.
Yes, but you're also a geek dweeb just like me.
Yes, that's true. I almost overpoured that. Saved it. Pro.
Styling. Very pro.
Oh, yeah.
Very pro.
Saved it. Sticking the finger in the foam.
Nice. Looks like we're not going to have Ann because I believe she's going to be mini golfing, which who can blame her? Except, of course, we're in Florida, and that's hot.
Well, it's nighttime now.
That's true. But it's still Florida. It's still humid and everything. Isn't this adorable? Facebook would like me to take a survey on how things are going on my experience. That's adorable. I'm going to hit start survey because they'll probably take it away from me if I don't do it like right now. How satisfied are you with your experience with photos on Facebook? They have the very satisfied to very dissatisfied rating. I'm going to say dissatisfied. Because one thing that they do not do, which is something that Google Plus does, yes, that still is a social network, actually, is that they don't allow for full resolution uploads. So when you're sharing pictures with family and everything like that, they're not getting all the pixels.
Yeah.
So I'm dissatisfied. There we go.
There you go.
How reliably does posting photos on Facebook work the way it's supposed to, i.e. without errors, bugs, or delays? Well, that seems to be pretty reliable. So I'll say very reliable. Go along with that. How easy or difficult is it to upload photos on Facebook? I'm impartial. Neither. Middle of it.
I have no strong feelings on the matter.
I have no strong feelings on that at all. In terms of photos that you post on Facebook, how would you rate the image quality of these photos? That's where it's very poor. Continue.
Because you're one of those high-definition junkies, so there you go.
Well, no, it's like because I see a lot of infographics, and I like to post infographics.
Yeah.
And infographics have text, and if you lose the pixels, then you can't read the damn text.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yes, I'm very dissatisfied. Disgruntled Andy, broadcasting live.
So I take this is a Facebook.
Yeah, they conveniently gave me a survey, and it's like, oh, isn't this adorable? I have to do this before it goes away.
Does it mention anything about the Messenger app?
The Messenger app, which crashes all the goddamn time?
It does. It is buggy as all hell, isn't it?
And how true? I haven't had a chance to read the terms of the Messenger app.
Okay. Here's the thing about the terms. It is completely overblown because the Facebook messaging app requires the same permissions that the Facebook app required before.
Oh, okay.
There's zero difference.
Yeah, good.
Now,
that's what I was wondering.
Argue whether or not the Facebook app itself was asking for too many permissions, which it was.
Yes.
So, really, nothing's changed except now they just have a different app. And it makes sense for them to do this, for them to break out messaging to make, in theory, eventually, to make the messaging app more stable and to increase the user experience, because they'd be able to upgrade that app faster than the full-blown Facebook page app.
Oh, okay.
So right now, given that I'm a page manager, I have Pages, which is the other application, the Facebook app, and the Messenger app all on my phone, all taking up space and all probably asking way too much. I don't care. So.
Okay. I was just curious because I mean it seems for a simple user who just wants to see their messages, what they had before didn't seem broken.
It wasn't really broken, no. But you have to think that it's an arms race. It's an absolute arms race because you have upstarts coming into the fold all the time. They've got a lot of competition in the messenger space itself.
Yeah.
And we are very North American centric.
Mm-hmm.
We don't think about the emerging markets that are happening all over the place. We don't matter technically because they've already got us locked in. They're worried about the next billion people on the planet. Yeah. And those billion people are coming in on smartphones. Mm-hmm. So if you really boil it down and distill it to what they're looking for, they need to have a messenger app that's slim enough that it'll run on one of the old Nokia Symbian phones.
Oh, yeah.
So by doing this, they can have those APIs, the application program interface language, they can have that really narrowed down and work towards a better user experience for the people that are in the emerging markets with really low-powered phones.
Because
that's their entire internet.
They got some El Cheapo smartphones, man.
They do.
They're ridiculous.
They do. They're horrible. And here's what Facebook did, and I'm really proud of them for doing this. They sent a team of engineers to Africa, to the middle of nowhere, so that they could live with the network and live the experience of dealing with Facebook on mobile in those spaces.
Huh.
So there's a lot of things that are changing because of that.
Okay.
And because of that innovation in that kind of space, they're having to do things like break out the Messenger app and thereby piss off the entire American populace that doesn't give a shit about the other rest of them.
Well, they've been pissing us off for years, though, with their random changes for no fucking reason and fixing things that aren't broken and causing things that were working to break. So, at this point, we're all used to it.
Well, you got to remember, they're not actually fixing things that aren't broken. They're innovating in the space. And before they were a publicly traded company, that was how they were still acting as a small startup, even though they had 1 billion people. So that's iterate fast, break it. That is the mantra of a startup.
Yeah.
Now that they've got stockholders and they have to be accountable more so to shareholders and review boards and things like that, you have noticed that things are not breaking as often, right?
And slowed the fuck down.
They had to slow the fuck down.
I mean, some days I don't even know why I'm on Facebook, so I don't care as much as other people have, but I have noticed, and that's saying something.
That is
on
saying
top of the shareholders and whatnot slowing them down, there's also we've got all these people. Let's keep them happy. We don't have to do so much work so fast. We have time to do things because they're not going to go away.
They're addicted.
Where are we going to go?
We're addicted. Yeah, we're going to go back to MySpace.
Well, yeah, you remember.
Yeah, that'll work.
We had nowhere to go before Facebook arrived. Yeah. And we were all on MySpace and viewing horrible, horrible images of people's pages that were in neon green on black backgrounds with flashing everything.
Yeah.
They took a page kind of out of the Google playbook, which was simplified design, real streamlined design. So you don't have a lot of flash, you don't have a lot of customization. It's a plain brown wrapper, well, in this case, blue and white, and you get what you get. Not a lot of customization. Okay, we'll allow you to change your header. Congratulations, you can change your banner page.
Yay.
Yeah.
And people went fucking berserk over that.
Yeah.
Well, if you looked at MySpace a few years into the Facebook takeover, MySpace and Facebook looked a whole hell of a lot alike.
But MySpace had already lost.
Yeah, they had already lost, but you could tell they were trying to emulate.
Yeah.
It's like, those guys got it right. Let's do that.
We're hemorrhaging subscribers. Quick, change it. Too late.
Too little, too late.
Yeah.
This is probably the most unique tattoo I've ever seen. Just to completely change the subject. Somebody out there, a tattoo artist, made a connect the dots on someone's leg.
Sweet.
So you literally have to take a Sharpie to somebody's leg to figure out what the picture's supposed to be.
That's cool.
That's funny.
That's awesome. That's
the time it takes to write the numbers.
So ambiguous. It's like, yeah, that would work.
So it has numbers?
Yeah, it's got dots and numbers. So you follow the dots, and it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. I guess I should probably share that, so I'll share that out to the ORly page. So you can see it on our Facebook, which could definitely use some more likes if anybody's out there looking.
Right?
Nudge.
Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I think we're like 65 likes. We could use some more people on that page, because I'd like more metrics, and that takes 100 people.
I liked.
It's all about the numbers. It's all about the numbers, people.
All about the metrics.
Here,
Oh, okay. I need to stir that.
Doing shots?
Yeah.
No,
Can I
Mr.
borrow
Rupp.
some of your water.
Die.
I made this. I didn't do this right. I just need some water.
Cold water?
I don't care.
Hey, there's Ann.
Want to get drinks?
Yeah, Ann's here. I have it on the small mic. I can flip it over to the big mic, so she can hear.
I think we're okay. She's going to go mini golfing, right?
Are you going mini golfing or no? No, they've already gone.
I already went. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
It was our guests, our house guests.
Go mini golfing?
Can you hear her on my mic or no?
I can very barely hear her.
Okay, so I'm switching. Let me see if this lets me do it. Okay, how can you hear us now?
I can hear you.
All right.
Swing.
N.
Can you hear
What
it?
did he say? Schwecky?
Swing.
Oh.
Wing. You know, the wing.
Hold on, she can't hear you yet.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Doesn't that have to be plugged into something? Okay. I didn't know if you were.
We have a high
that one. She's observing that one. You got to keep her.
Hi. I was like, are you trying to do some magic?
Yes.
Yes.
This is
That's all the
voodoo.
internet is. It's magic.
It's voodoo. Yes.
It's,
Smoke and mirrors.
electronics is run by Magic Blue Smoke. If you let Magic Blue Smoke out, they don't work anymore.
It's true. I have a video of letting the magic blue smoke out of a hard drive.
Oh.
I did it myself.
I remember
You
that
let the
one.
Magic Blue Smoke out, Andy. You're not supposed
I
to do
did.
that. You know better.
Well, I did it on purpose for science.
For science.
Yeah, sure. we all do that for science.
Science?
That's what they call it.
Well, I did it for science. I actually had it pinned to a piece of corkboard, like a butterfly, and applied power, and let my daughter watch as it blew up. For science.
Experience.
And since I have a glass top desk here, you guys can see what I'm working on there.
Yeah.
So I had it underneath there, and I set my camera phone on it and just recorded. So you got to see all the smoke come right up at the camera.
What was this? What'd you blow up?
A hard drive circuit board.
Ah.
That was good.
That's just.
How much voltage did you apply?
Oh, I just applied the regular voltage. It was just a bad board.
It was just on its way out.
It was a bad board, yeah.
Explosions are good.
Yeah, nothing like losing 500 gig in a shot. Just boom. Yeah, these things happen. It's just par for
Power boards are the best. Those are the best explosions I've ever seen.
Yep.
I have seen several transformers explode. Those are cool to watch from a distance.
Yeah, from a distance.
Yeah. From a distance.
Distance, yeah.
I haven't seen any transformers
Noise.
explode, but I've worked.
Yeah, those big cans, and they're like, since they're way up high, you don't really realize how big they are. They're like a 55-gallon drum.
Yeah, they're fucking huge.
And they're full of oil.
And you got like 3 of them up there. So yeah, they're filled with the coils, and
Oil.
then filled with mineral oil on top of that.
Yeah.
And then, should something unfortunate, like, hey, it'd be a terrible shame if something bad would happen to your transformer there.
You sound like the dude.
Okay,
Clamp.
Muggsy.
You sound like Clamps from Futurama.
No clamps.
Like this.
No clamps.
Clamp.
Give him a clamp. Or a clamp-like device?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
No clamps. No clamps.
I'll be here all week, or at least all night. Okay.
Huh.
Don't lie, you'll be here all
So-
ever.
What causes it to blow up? Does the mineral oil like evaporate or something, or
That could happen. Yeah. There could be a leak.
Or over
Mineral
voltage scenario.
they could fill it up with Crisco
Yeah, that's
or canola oil,
Hmm.
pop some popcorn and
but then
shit.
everybody, when it blew up, everybody would be hanging around like, French fries.
every electrician in the room is cringing right now. Just want
Yeah,
you to know.
exactly.
Shit.
No, don't do that. No, it's bad. That's bad, and you should feel bad.
Your ideas are bad and you should feel bad.
No, the
Oh, it's undone.
all the electricians are going, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do.
They know not what they say.
Oh shit!
Dear electronics God, have mercy on us now.
I just have a random, wire strip right here.
Clamps.
Just a
Clamps.
fishing pair.
Is that a splicer thing or whatever?
wire
Yeah, it's
stripper?
wires.
It's a multi-tool because it also has
You
the,
got
They're stripper
Strippers.
crimpers.
Got cutters on.
They're stripper crimpers.
Look at those strippers.
They're stripper crimpers.
It
What
took
is
me
the-
Not just
45
strippers.
minutes to find one of those
The
at work.
stripper named Crimper.
Ha.
I don't even know what to think about that, Ann.
First it strips them,
I'm
then it
just
crimps
trying to
them.
dumb you down, man, to the.
Good luck. I'm already there. You can't dumb down what's already dumbed. Dumbed.
Pinnacle disagrees with you.
Ah!
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think the alcohol has some things to say on the matter.
Yeah,
So that lightning that struck that car, it looks like there's flour all in it. What is that supposed to be? Ice?
That is no. That's the packing powder that comes
from the airbag.
in the airbag. So the airbag exploded. What was
Pop.
really fascinating was all
Shit.
the melted
The glass
glass.
melted.
That's
there
what
was
that
like
is.
Wow.
There's this crater right there, basically right in the center of the dashboard. So
Holy
that was a pretty
crap.
good sustained hit,
No,
Ooh.
that was a defect car. It had to have been because the car is supposed to
Holy
the
shit.
body of the car is supposed to ground through the tires.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have hit inside the dash first. It should have hit the roof or something.
Should have.
I don't
should
know.
have.
I don't know what
Definitely
model car that
not.
is. It might
A
have had
direct,
one of the head-up displays. It could have had all sorts of things in it. You
a
know.
direct hit from lightning strike does not know any bounds. It can do whatever the heck it wants.
Yeah,
because
I'm plasma,
But-
bitch.
They designed
Don't
these
try to
things-
tame it.
Yeah, they designed these things to try to make them ground so that it doesn't fry everything. But we're
Yeah.
talking about a level of electricity that cannot be duplicated in a laboratory.
Yeah.
They
Cannot
can't
be-
do it.
it can't be duplicated. It can't be controlled. It
So
can't
every-
be maintained.
So everything they got is best guess.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
it.
even with lightning rods, yes, it helps it ground it out, but it'll still fry electronics within I don't know, a long ways.
It
Maybe.
occurs to me that
Well,
I
it's a miniature EMP.
Yeah.
No, it isn't.
Uh-oh.
it occurs to me that I missed a golden opportunity.
Uh-oh.
What's your golden opportunity?
I should have simply said, "Great Scott" when I actually posted.
Oh, one,
You should
I
have.
very
I'm
much
disappointed in you, Andy.
I
how
very
many-
much-
how many
My
volts? Here you go. I'll bump it up for you, Andy, and you spike it down. How many volts do you think hit that car?
1.21 gigawatts.
What the hell is a gigawatt?
Jago, what?
Giga. It's funny how Giga would become like something in the hip hop ghetto language.
Jago, what?
Giga.
Actually a thing, of course.
You ever hear that? Jigga don't come clean or something. I don't know what they're saying. But that's what they're talking
I
about.
certainly don't know what you're saying.
Gigawatts.
I'm fairly certain that you're listening to things that I'm not listening to.
That's
Gigawatts.
pretty.
I don't know what this is, but I'm secretly thrilled.
Secretly.
Nope.
Not so secretly.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
I gotta go get my pickles.
Okay, you do that real quick, and I'm going to grab another beer, and then I think we're actually going to do this proper.
Beer, 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 diddly beer, beer, beer.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
While I'm away, go ahead and jump in, and Mike, this one's for you. Picks, if you have them. Think of a pick.
Connect the dots.
Do the thing.
I shall think of one.
Picks. Do we have picks?
I thought you were going to talk about that thing you posted with the color changing paint, the photo, whatever the heck it's.
I didn't
which
really think
apparently
of that,
it said it's fake, but then it said in 2007 Nissan came out with something like that. Photo, what is it called? Photo metallic? I don't know.
Yeah,
it's fake.
it's all fake. It's all.
That's
I was
fake,
so
but then
sad. I was like, I want that paint job on my car.
They said in 2007 that they came out with Nissan did of that type of
a
paint
concept.
that can change colors.
But they didn't find a way to manufacture it. I don't think.
Wait, what are they doing?
That paint that changes colors.
Paramagnetic pigment, where you run a voltage through.
Sounds expensive. Do you guys remember that TV show? It was short-lived, I think. Well, actually, I think it had a couple seasons called Viper.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was like that. Yeah.
They had that kind of paint, yeah.
Actually, that one wasn't even
tiles.
That one was little tiles that flipped around.
It was Thunder in Paradise, but in car format.
Okay, how about this? Okay, if they can make colors, then why can't they make the car disappear?
Well, they
did. Yeah,
They did?
Well, the point being that you have to, for the cloaking technology, what you have to have is a camera basically on the exact opposite side that then represents what would be seen on the other side of the vehicle.
Mm-hmm. They've done that before. They've done that, just not very well.
That's one way of doing it. They've got these metamaterials now that actually bend the light around objects.
Yeah,
that's some awesome shit right there.
Yeah, I've seen them like spray paint a tree and make it go away.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Yep. So no more look out for that tree. It's just look out for that haze in the air.
Nope, you're fucked.
Yeah, that's definitely the kind of thing. Nope, you're fucked.
Yeah. So other than that, I don't have any.
So bad. So sad. Too bad.
It's once you add darkness, fucking forget it. It's over.
Oh my
Never
God.
see it.
That cat face.
What?
Look at that cat face. There's a picture of a cat and trying to be adopted. It's in like a cage. Poor kitty.
Did you see
face?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about, but did you see the
through face crack?
It is apparently national.
The Panda Bear triplets.
What is it?
Look up the video for the Panda Bear triplets.
Oh, no.
Did they use fertility drugs or something? What's with the triplets?
Yeah, usually there's only two, I think, in Panda.
Well, they got.
Looks
they
good,
ended up with
man.
triplets.
Birthing
Is that the
clutches.
chick from the show?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I like the blue one.
The blue one.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's Mythbusters they're showing. It's Mythbusters.
Carrie has a dress she's going to wear to the Emmys, and she wants everybody to vote which one. Either like this gold shiny one or this blue one. I think the blue one looks better.
Well, that's purely subjective.
Yeah. Although the blue one was better.
I would go with the blue one.
I think her hair. I think her hair looked better with the blue one.
I hadn't heard this one, but apparently this one's just making the rounds again. So it's in case you missed it. June 23rd, it was a Monday. Time travel has been simulated by Australian physicists.
Mm-hmm.
Using photons.
That lucky photon got to go live that time again.
Fucking quantums, man.
It is. It's all about quantum.
Fucking quantums, man.
All about quantum.
They get to have all the fun.
Well, we could always talk about Deepak Chopra and all the quantum consciousness. That guy. Oh, man. That guy.
Deepak Chopra?
Yeah, Deepak Chopra.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You don't know about Deepak Chopra?
Deepak Chopra?
Isn't he like he's into like meditation and all that stuff? I don't know. What is he? Like New
He
Age?
is like
Okay.
guerrilla skepticism
Yes.
enemy #1 almost.
He is definitely a target. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'll get Susan to give us a little rundown on what they did to his page, because when they went hog wild on it, stripping out all the pseudoscience
Nice.
and putting in references. It's amazing how charlatans absolutely hate to be quoted verbatim from something they did. It is amazing.
Because they can't keep track of all the lies, man.
Yeah,
Lying
exactly.
is like 95% of what they do.
At least. So, speaking of Susan Gerbic, we should probably actually get started.
Go for
It
it.
is 9:49.
It's 9.
Susan.
Holy crap, it is.
Is Susan
I
on
already
here
had my
right now?
first shot of the evening, so
Susan is not on here right now. However, she did give me a little bit of audio for tonight's show, so they've updated some things, and I'm loving the little partnership that we got going there, a little cross promotion. So
Is it sexy?
no, not exactly.
but
Sex.
it is shaved.
How drunk are you?
Who are you
I
talking
haven't
to?
drank anything.
I don't believe you.
I haven't drank anything,
I
man.
don't believe you.
This is the way I normally am, believe it or not.
Yeah,
I believe it.
that's true. Okay,
She hasn't really
Yeah.
been anything other than this.
so
See, I'm the one who's drinking.
This is like
Sun
baseline.
Yeah.
This is the baseline, Ann.
Yeah.
And then we
So
got
our
drunk Ann.
our primary topics tonight, guys. Robin Williams and suicide, because that's the thing that we ought to talk
This is
about.
very sad.
Oh, right in the feels.
Oh, you're telling me. It really knocked me out for a couple days. And all the crap that's going on in Ferguson. That's pretty much going to be the show.
Turd Ferguson?
No, not Turd Ferguson.
Might as well be.
Thing
I'm
on
sorry.
Because
It's
the
that
news
freaking.
corps is just taking a giant shit on them.
Remember when Will Ferrell was playing Alex Trebek, and
That's
somebody
not my
was
name.
Of
playing?
course.
He's like, and
Turd.
Turd Ferguson.
That was.
Yeah, what do you want?
Sean Connery, I think.
Fucking,
Big funny hat. It's funny.
that's funny.
The guy from
Fucking
what's
Mark does the best. He
or
does this
PI?
shit. He does it the best I've ever heard of anybody.
Celebrity Jeopardy, Turd Ferguson.
Yep.
Just look. Yeah, it's awesome. Okay.
Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, what do you want?
That's not my name. Okay.
You buzzed in. No, I didn't. But the clicker's in your hand. No, it's not.
I'm gonna have an accident, aren't I?
You might. Who knows? We're also going to talk a little bit about the post office and kind of what we're about, like how FedEx and DHS and all the other service providers are kind of chopping up the nation as far as shipping and all that fun stuff. I'm sure that'll expand out. They really don't, actually. The Postal Service is still top notch.
Are you fucking kidding me? Everything that I've had sent through the post office takes fucking forever to get to me. And it's always in
Really?
shit condition. Always.
See? This is why we're going to talk about it. Hold your
UPS sends more packages through
Shit
Postal
condition.
Service
hold.
than they do through their own systems.
Ixnay, hold. We gotta get in the show. Otherwise, you're gonna make me edit a lot. I don't want to do that.
Damn it.
I've already had 5 beers. So stop.
I
just started with the shots, so.
Crap.
I just had a big glass of Crown with a little bit of lemon juice, which didn't
So-
taste very good. So
Crown
So
and
funny is,
just lemon.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of
I didn't have
Arma 3, and one of the favorite call-outs is I'm taking shots. Or shots fired. Taking shots. So I always come over the intercoms and go, shots, 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 shots.
Lovely. Absolutely lovely. Okay. So, are we ready?
I'm ready.
All right, and just to give myself a little countdown here so I can actually figure out where I need to edit. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hello, ORly radio listeners. This is Susan Gerbic from the GSOW, Guerrilla Skepticism on Wikipedia project. Just a couple quick updates. We are attempting to rewrite all the Wikipedia pages concerning scientific skepticism in all languages. This is a daunting task, and we are making progress. Just this week, we launched podcaster Matt Dillahunty's new page, science magician Brian Brushwood, and James Randi's book, Flim Flam, which should be required reading for all critical thinkers, by the way. And why are we doing this? And why should you care? Because these pages represent us. And if we want people to respect us, then we need to take responsibility for the pages that reflect on us. We've just graduated a couple new editors, and training can take months. But when you're done, you will have found that you have become a part of an amazing project that is making a real difference worldwide. So we have a couple spaces open. If you're interested, please contact us at gsowteam@gmail.com. Thank you.
We're just trying to change the world here, people.
Oh, really?
The Facebooking and the tweeting and the Instagramming, all that would not exist without our understanding of science.
That's an insult. You mean true for you is different from true for anybody else?
Yeah, absolutely, because I can't think either got to be true or no. I can't, no.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to ORly Radio Show 19 for Friday, August 15th, 2014. We're kind of policing the state and talking about Ferguson and Robert Williams' death and the post office. Those are our main
Introduce us.
And yes, there's the usual suspects. We've got David, we've got Mike, we've got Don, and we've got Ann. What up? Hey. And of course, thank you to Susan Gerbic for giving us a new show intro. And I think we have a target for her to actually give us a rundown on. So that should be fun for later.
Yeah.
Deepak Chopra.
You can see my pussy. My pussy.
Oh, it has begun already.
Welcome to the show.
Well, the show has been derailed. Awesome.
We can see Ann's pussy.
Right out of the gate.
Come on, pussy.
Have we mentioned that we're available out on YouTube?
Get on my lap.
See the video. For no particular reason. No particular. Yeah, go tell your friend. Okay. So recently, as in today, I saw an article about can the post office save itself by becoming a bank?
What?
Yeah. So
I'm confused.
it's fascinating. One, I don't as much rhetoric is out there about how the post office is in trouble. I don't really buy it because the post office is technically completely funded by postage stamps. So they're not getting any government subsidies other than the ability to act as a government organization. So they've got that going for them, which is very nice. Secondly, I'm not sure if you are really big into ordering things online, like, say, me. I order a lot of stuff. And I'd say a pretty good chunk of it is delivered the last mile by the post office. Even if its initial carrier was FedEx or UPS.
Or Laser Ship. I don't know who they are, but a lot of my Amazon packages come through them.
Yeah, who are they?
Yep, same here.
Yep.
They're a last mile delivery service that delivers in like minivans and whatever they have, and it's a small company that picks up stuff, and I think it's like a small company of independent contractors who take those packages the last few miles.
Every time I order Magic cards, they come by Laser Ship every time. And yes, I order Magic cards online. I am that kind of nerd.
I've had other things come by a Laser Ship, so it's.
I've never heard of Laser Ship, so it's obviously a regional thing for probably the Central Florida area.
Yes.
But that's one of the things. Just because you order it from one carrier doesn't mean it's going to be delivered by that carrier, which is funny, but
fucking mind blowing, man.
logistics is a huge industry.
Yes.
And they're not just doing package delivery. They're also doing a lot of the sorting, the initial sorting. There's even some that are warehousing it for them and then using them as a logistics carrier. I know that FedEx does some of that. UPS is really big on doing stuff like that. You know, all those commercials, what can Brown do for you?
What can Brown do for you? I love this movie. I don't know why. It makes me laugh.
Kind of a dubious
make
commercial.
you feel lighter.
What can Brown do for you?
Make me feel lighter.
What can you do for Brown?
Experience
Not
our
so
services,
shitty.
including thuggery. Strong arm tactics. No, that doesn't actually happen.
Oh, that's
To the best of my knowledge.
So back to the banking thing for the U.S. Postal Service. Apparently, way back when, about the turn of 1900, they actually did offer some banking services. This was before FDIC was available, so they were kind of a bank insurance. And once FDIC came into the play, it took about 20 years for them to finally completely get out of that business. And you know what FDIC is?
Mm-hmm.
Federal Deposit Insurance Company.
Remember FDIC?
I just was making funny. I just heard DIC and I was like, damn, dude.
You are.
We went from pussy to dick to F-dick. Just 10 minutes or less.
Didn't even spell it right. What the hell?
Okay,
It's the getaway.
And do you also
The getaway.
do you also laugh anytime anybody says "flick your bick"?
Yeah,
'Cause
probably.
I-
Yes.
Would you ask a genie for an 18-inch bick? No. No, you would not.
Ba-dum-bum.
Okay.
This is great
Off
beer.
the rails.
I'm so
Off the
sorry.
rails.
Great beer. Yeah. Speaking of off the rails,
Cheers.
St. Adam's Oktoberfest beer is now in stores. So that's probably the most newsworthy thing you're going to hear on the show.
I gotta pick up freaking Oktoberfest. I love that shit.
Here, let me translate. That means off the chain, ghetto people.
What?
What newsworthy means off the chain? Is it?
When you say off the rails, he means off the chain.
No.
I'm pretty sure they understand the phrase "off the rails."
No.
I'm
It's
pretty
actually
sure.
just the opposite, actually.
Off the rails is completely derailed. Yeah, we just careened through a station, silver bullet style. Okay.
Went through the turnstiles, and now we're heading up the escalator.
What was that? I'm checking into the hotel bell sound. Is somebody ready to check in?
That was somebody got an instant message.
Yeah, that was me. Sorry.
Please mute yourself.
I'll turn the.
I'm ready to check in now.
I remember just
Are you being served?
Service. Yes, are you being served?
So the Inspector General is proposing a few things to change, to kind of renovate the services offered by the post office. And there's a lot of interesting things that they're doing because they already are kind of in the banking business. So even though they're out of it and technically not legally allowed to become a bank, since they already have banking services and because the Congress, which would be the only legislative body that would be able to stop them, is currently so gridlocked by panic and people that don't want to do anything, they could probably get away with it and nobody would even notice.
for years.
For years and years, yeah. And by that time, they probably already would have proved the model and been effective, and then people would be, you're taking away something we like, and we'll vote you out of office. So, it's kind of a win-win here. So that win-win, yeah. So they're partnered with Amex, so they offer travelers checks through American Express. They do MoneyGram, and I think they also do even Western Union. Yeah, so money orders aplenty. So they already handle some cash. We already trust them. But also, they were proposing a postal card, kind of like a credit card, kind of like a debit card, possibly even like an ID card. So there's something for those New World Order conspiracy nuts to really, say we're all going to be, RFID tagged in our skin or something.
Or they'll be like, here's my pass to go postal. Ugh.
Wow.
Now you're sober.
Are you really super sure?
I've got a pass.
What's in that bottle, and what's in that bottle?
I've got a pass to go.
The water has fermented.
Oh, okay.
Apparently.
No, it's just water, but it's fermented, obviously.
Why is the rum always gone?
Because I drank it, that's why.
Exactly, there you go.
But
number one
is the rum gone. Anyway.
So they're proposing to make mobile payments, online payments, in-store purchases with this thing, load it with cash, so basically it becomes a bank card, like a prepaid bank card. It would be available to pay bills online, withdraw money at ATMs, make money transfers internationally, even to take out small loans. So that's a full-on banking enterprise right there. And conduct mobile transactions, like kind of like the Square app, where you can send money directly to person to person, but over mobile. Yeah. So basically, that's taken a lot of industries all at once.
Yeah.
But I think they can do it because they are essentially they are a tremendous logistics organization. If you think about how much they deliver every day.
Yep.
It's
every day, 6
days
a week. Yeah.
Of course, what, about 60% of it is junk mail?
Yeah.
Maybe more.
People are paying for it, though. It's a service. They're paying. Those people are paying for that stuff.
They are paying customers.
Yeah, exactly. So it's working. It is still an industry that is needed, obviously. And damn, if FedEx and UPS are then going to contract with the United States Postal Service to do last mile delivery, I don't think anybody in their right mind can think that the post office is going away.
Nope.
No, the post office is not going away.
Exactly. But they want it to go away. They also want it to somehow be privatized, even though it kind of is.
Basically is.
In its own special way, it is.
At one point in time, the post office actually ran a profit for the U.S. government.
Mm-hmm.
So it can do this. It is capable of functioning on a profit basis, which is something that no one who believes in privatization of everything in the world is going to ever admit. Government can actually run things that do function well if you put the right people in charge of them.
But no, the free market is where it's at, man, even though the free market ruins everything it touches.
But the one big problem...
There are advantages to every system based on the population size and the good or service being provided.
Well, no, there is no ultimate advantage to a free market because an ultimate free market left to its own devices will produce nothing but monopolies. And
right, well,
when there's one company who
without
owns everything, they will fix the prices wherever they want, and everyone else gets the shaft.
Situationally, there is a perfect... Each individual system is perfect for certain individual applications, but no one system works for them all. And that is something that I think we need to really admit here and say that, purely capitalism is not the end-all answer to everything.
That's why you need government regulations. That's why you need a planned economy.
Yeah. And as far as the Postal Service goes, one thing that we haven't mentioned yet here is, say the thing that we're talking on right now. This is what the Postal Service used to be. And this is when it was profitable, is when the only way you had to talk to people without going was to actually send a letter. So it may not become profitable again in that method, but because of all this easy communication.
That's always one of those things that kind of looms over the internet's head too, because there's always been that talk of somehow taxing email.
I will put that we have a viewer in chat, and so I'm going to read this comment. The post office is failing more and more, unfortunately. My wife got a package the other day delivered USPS that looked like it was used as a soccer ball and torn open. It contained gifts. I
get those from UPS and FedEx.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a downside of shipping. Is you're going to get that problem.
I will say, having worked in warehouses before, not necessarily for shipping companies like this, but just having worked in warehouses in distribution, there's only so much you can do. Yeah. I mean,
what was it?
True. I really do believe they are doing their best, but you've got thousands of boxes to throw, and there's like 4 of you, you know?
There's people that are doing their best, and then there's people that are not doing their job.
What was it?
Find a very quick search. We'll find the pictures of FedEx employees, of DHL employees, UPS employees, hurling boxes labeled fragile over fences because somebody wouldn't come to the door and sign for something. Or leaving it, in a very obvious position where any Tom, Dick, or Harry could come down and just, grab it or pee on it or anything.
One of my friends actually had a story from. Oh, go on.
Oh no, go ahead with your story.
No, I was talking to Don. It sounded like he was going to throw something in there.
Oh yeah, it's Ann has family who's been in logistics for many decades.
Yes.
And he was talking about, there was the whole thing about FedEx over, was it the holiday season? Or like a week, they lost like 400,000 packages in a week. I mean, that's FedEx.
That's like
that's when they turned, something turned over to FedEx, and that's, I think Amazon turned away from FedEx when they did that.
Wow.
Because they were
I still get a lot from FedEx from Amazon.
Oh no, I know that they can't go away because they ship so much stuff. I mean, but there's a whole bunch of stuff changing in that industry because they're changing that industry. That industry is still running on rules that were set up in the 20s.
Yeah.
So they're trying. Ann's father is actually one of the ones who's been trying to change it for the past 40 years. And he's been having ideas of how to change it, and now they're just finally starting to. So in the next maybe decade, they'll change how things are shipped.
If you want to talk to him about it, he'll talk your face off about it for hours.
Yeah, literally. They just visited. I mean, and he has everything to say. He knows so much. So
he's always been so obsessed about it.
If he would like to do an interview with us, I would be more
to have him.
More than welcome to have somebody rant with us that actually knows what the hell they're talking about.
You're going to go over your allotted time limit.
Hey, I mean, he might. I gave him a webcam, so
we always go over our allotted time.
Yeah, we have
never been under the allotted time limit.
This was originally designed as a 1-hour weekly show. In fact, it was designed originally as a 1-hour bi-monthly show. And then the two jokers here, that would be Mike and David, they decided, no, this is cool enough. We could do this every week. Yeah, totally. No problem. And look what you've gotten us into.
Hey.
4 hours of live time, or not even live time, but 4 hours of time every Friday night.
This is what we have brought.
2 hours, an hour and a half to 2 hours recorded time.
So this is our Friday night. How does it
bullshit
yours?
Let me ask you an Oprah Winfrey question.
Welcome, listeners.
Does your women get upset that you're not spending time with them and you're on the computer talking to other guys?
Considering how busy she is, Jess can't say shit. She's always doing something.
My divorce will be finalized the 19th of August.
Completely unrelated, by the way, listeners.
That's like Tuesday.
So how about you, David? You're the last one to chime in. And you actually have
ladies out there, contact Andy after the 19th of August.
September, sorry. But no,
September.
Great
you
guy.
can contact me now. That's fine. It's over and done. So
my lady's cool. She'll extract payment from me later.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
See, my lady just hates it. She just can't stand it.
I will spend time with her.
Yeah,
I'm a jealous
lady to
bitch.
tolerate all this.
How can you be a jealous bitch? You're here.
That's why
I'm here. I'm watching.
Always
watching us like
What better way to watch than to by being right there all the time?
So I've actually got a screen share of the package in question.
Oh my!
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So you're going to show us your package? Really? On the internet?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
that's what
throwing
the
out my package for all the world to see. It's actually not my package.
Well, that's not nearly as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot worse than that.
Yeah, I've seen worse.
Yeah, I have too.
Yeah, if that got opened up, they just didn't tape it properly when they shipped it.
Yeah.
It did get kicked. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Or
I don't see any tire tracks on it or water damage. I mean, that could have been so worse.
I've seen tire tracks on things
Yeah.
before.
you should have taken a picture of your
The treadmill?
the treadmill. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, the treadmill came in via FedEx, and that poor bastard, because this is like a 3-person lift. It's a huge, huge, heavy beast in 2 boxes, and he's just one guy without even a dolly really to help him with it, because it doesn't have any dolly points on it. It was just a crazy thing that had to get shipped. So I wasn't surprised that there were things broken in it. In fact, I need to follow up with the company because they were supposed to send me some replacement parts, and they haven't yet. Anyway. It works, so I don't really care too much.
See, I work in an industry where we rely on stuff being shipped and received, and we have metal, like equipment racks. Andy, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yes.
We have steel-framed racks that come in tweaked, bent, dented, like the frames that are supposed to be 19 inches wide, brought down to 8 inches wide.
Womp womp.
Like,
wow.
I mean, these are things that the only way they can damage them is by running a forklift through them. I mean, I've had things that forklifts have run through things. I mean, it's just crazy sometimes what you get, and the shipping stuff, they deliver it and they don't care. You can't inspect things. They say you have to inspect things before you sign for them, but the shipping companies say, oh, no, you can't open that up until you sign for it. And as soon as
exactly. Isn't that clever?
Yeah.
Pandora's box.
Yeah, so
and of course, the thing is, you want the thing.
Yes.
In fact, you want it even if it is damaged because you have to do some work with it.
Yes.
Got to have the thing, man.
You pretty much have to sign for it, regardless of whatever's going on around it. Yeah.
And they're not going to take it back even if it is damaged. If it's damaged, they won't take it back. Generally, they'll ship you a new one because it's cheaper for them to ship you a new one.
So I just got a link to an interesting related story as Ohio postal worker caught tossing mail in dumpster.
They're going to stop tossing
and I got to say, thank you, Dom. That's awesome.
Oh, very cool.
If
that's a good article.
So I'll put that link in the.
They're throwing away the
pizza flyers
and all those things. You know, that's cool. All those savings safari posters and things like that end up in the post.
You know what I do with those things, with all my junk mail? I take the entire contents of the junk mail. When I
roll it up and smoke it?
No, when I have the time and the patience, I take the entire contents of the junk mail. I put it in their little business reply mail prepaid envelope and send it back to them. Because that way they pay for it twice, and they lose money for annoying me. So it's like, sure, send me the junk mail. You're gonna pay my price.
The problem is nowadays almost nothing is prepaid.
Every single one of them that is, though.
Oh yeah.
I believe I take advantage of that shit.
There are a lot of them that are not prepaid, but there's a lot of them that have the postage guaranteed thing instead. So it's not prepaid, so that they don't have to do it ahead of time. So they basically just have like an open account with the post office. So whatever comes in that is missing postage, they'll handle.
Yeah.
You should shred the contents with one of those diamond-shaped shredders, and then put the contents inside.
I have been
shredded.
I have been thinking of making it into confetti.
The one problem you get into.
And it's much easier to pack into an envelope than folding.
Oh yeah.
You know, I see a need for a penis-shaped die cutter. Pages. So that way
That's what we need.
The confetti can just be, here,
Dicks.
suck a dick. There you go.
Because everything is better dick touch?
It could be. Yeah, possibly. I don't know. Why not? So the post office may become a bank, and it might just because it's the good thing for it to do.
Because money.
It cannot possibly be worse than Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, any of the others. It cannot possibly be worse.
That's
Walmart.
Maybe Federal.
Walmart was looking at getting into the banking industry with their stores, having a.
Well, they have their little payroll card things that are not just for employees. Anybody can get one.
This is one of the few times that you can actually hear a face bomb.
Yeah.
But they were actually looking at opening up a banking institution and having it included with their stores so that you could go there and start a bank account.
Isn't that exactly like the company stores of old, where you'd owe your soul to the company store?
Pretty much.
Owe my soul to the company store.
Well, they already do it overseas. If you work for a McDonald's, or not a McDonald's, although I wouldn't be surprised if McDonald's did it as well, because they are a soulless corporation as well. But if you work for a Walmart like in China, they pay you in Walmart credit, so you can only shop at Walmart with your paycheck.
Wow.
Yeah.
A straight-up company store. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's... Wow, what century is this?
Indentured servitude century.
It's supposed to be the 21st century. Supposed to be.
I'm still missing my flying car. I'm not sure about that.
Did you really think flying cars would be a good idea?
Yes.
No.
Because some fucker named Moeller has been working on the Moeller flying car for 30 fucking years and hasn't gotten that bitch off.
I have enough trouble with the normal two-dimensional drivers here in fucking Orlando. I don't want to deal with those bitches in the air.
Yes, well...
He was going to have an autopilot. Basically, he had a computerized system where he said, here's where I am, here's where I want to go, and it brought you there. You did not fly it, it flew you.
That would be the way to go. And I'm really hoping that the whole Google automated car thing really... That would be the step one.
Oh.
You took the joke right out from underneath. Go away with it.
I am an asshole. I'm sorry. I had to do it.
No, perfectly fine. Anyway, back to the banking thing.
Serious face.
See, I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back constantly. Stay on topic. One things that we are not brand loyal to, and except in cases where we are just so locked in that we can't get out, anything involving money. Really, our complete finances. If there's a bank that offers lower interest rates, we'll go with them. If there's a credit card that offers lower interest rates, we'll transfer all of our debt over to them just so we can save a buck. If there's a payment processor that offers a better deal so that so they keep more of the whole profit, they're going to go with that. Because Amazon is actually starting a payment processing service now too to compete with the likes of Square and Quickens. So when you survey the various consumers out there that would actually buy these services and get paid that way, they don't care who is doing it. They don't care who the back-end agent is, as long as they get to keep more of their money and they're paid effectively. So I think really, if the post office is going to have any shot at this, is they become the back-end payment processor with the lowest rates.
Mm-hmm.
Done.
Yeah.
They succeed.
Yep.
Because that's what Walmart wants to do too. That's Walmart's real gig. They want to become the whole end payment processor so they get to keep 100% of the profits.
Yeah, but their service is crap and nobody's buying it.
Well, no. All they have to do is be the one that does it. And then they keep all their own profits. They don't even have to sell it to anyone else. And still, they're going to save probably 2.5% on every single transaction that goes through their store.
Here's an interesting concept for you.
Yeah.
Walmart has the new UPS or FedEx. because their logistics are incredible.
They're really not.
No.
Having worked internally, no, they're not.
They're not anywhere as incredible as the people that deliver things to the main distribution centers that they have.
Yeah,
that was one of their main advantages, though, as a private corporation, is they were able to move their product to and from stores in an incredible rate.
No. They can move things to and from distribution centers, which is what that metric keys off of.
Yeah.
Getting from distribution center to stores is a fucking nightmare.
Insider track right here.
Worked there,
in
receiving. Fucking nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Most receiving stuff is.
Now, first-class mail and things like that are definitely going down. It kind of peaked around the year 2000 with like a trillion, no, a billion pieces of first-class mail in a year, something like that. And it's really tapered down to, a sixth of that.
Well, the problem with that became
60% of that.
The problem with that became is that so much was sent first class that they didn't have room in the trucks or even in the warehouses to separate all the first class from everything else. You just had to put it where it would fit. All the first class got treated like everything else because there was so much of it.
Yeah, there is that. There is that, and they've done a lot more automation, so things like that are actually handled properly.
Yeah.
But the other situation that you have is that people are just not sending things through the mail anymore.
Hello, email.
The internet is fantastic for so many things that require
mail.
Fucking magic.
Just any bulk documents, things like that. You can just have them printed locally and maybe faxed back or something like that. So you've got faxes handling for the signatures. You've got email
DocuSign.
Document. You can do document signing depending on the agency that's doing it. The legal agencies won't take a scanned signature, but they will still take a faxed signature, which blows my mind because it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the exact same fucking thing.
Same thing.
Mortgage.
Yeah.
Well, I get the fear.
But it's
the justification probably is if it's a scanned image, they could edit it. But if it's a faxed image, then they have to edit it and print it out and then fax it.
You can
anyway.
You can fax a scanned image.
Yeah.
And the fax is so horrible you'd never tell that it was edited anyway. So
fax is
it blows my mind. It's like, really? You're going to use that old tired argument? Where are you from? Really?
What century are you living in?
Yeah, the internet's going to eat you. That's ridiculous.
Not decade, century. What century are you living in?
Yes. So that's enough about the Postal Service because it's an interesting system. I highly recommend pulling up any videos on YouTube about how things are actually shuttled through. Like one of the sorting facilities. They're amazing. They're really just marvels of technology. I couldn't do it. There's a high propensity of suicide in the post office. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that.
It's going to a lot of automation. I mean, all these places that are shipping now are doing 90% automated picking and packaging and everything else. I mean, they have warehouses that are almost pitch black because they don't need anybody in them. So
they got a guy sitting in an office up there.
Yep.
With a big old control board sleeping.
Yeah.
Well, there's always going to be the guy that's going to have to go out and unjam that package full of presents from whatever machine just ate it.
Yeah.
So there's always
put it back in line.
It doesn't matter how good your machine is.
Yeah. So speaking of post office workers going postal and sometimes committing suicide, we were kind of rocked this week by Robin Williams' suicide. He took his life. He was apparently in early stages of Parkinson's, and just one thing led to another. And he was not on any drugs. He was clean and sober, but his demons caught up with him, and he took his life. So in that's sad enough, and I wanted to point out the wonderful people out there that are picketing his funeral, and that would be the Westboro Baptist Church.
Well,
wow.
So
this is my shocked face.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously he lived his life well enough that the Westboro Baptist Church wants to picket it. That's good on you. Good on you, Robin Williams.
That's a victory right there.
But of course,
that really kind of is.
Yeah. But the real problem here is with a big swath of Christianity.
Fundamental Christians.
If
you take your own life, fundamentally, you are going to hell.
Yeah,
and they like to tell you by that.
Yeah, so there's just a slew of really vitriolic people out there that are saying, "Yep, he's rotting in hell now, burning in hell." Let's see, from the blog "What It Means to Be Christian," which is what it means to be Christian at WordPress.com. It's with great sadness that I'm about to say this. Maybe Robin Williams is in hell. We forget that he blasphemed God, used profane language, and planted dirty jokes in the minds of people. From Jesus Saved Me from Hell, another blog out there. This tragic outcome of Robin Williams' life demonstrated that no matter how talented and influential one is, if they lack a sound spiritual foundation in Jesus Christ, they will perish and end up in eternal hell. And let's see.
That's not for them to judge.
First of all, you here on Earth do not get to fucking judge. Second of all, these are also the people who say that a man like Gandhi went to hell because he didn't believe in God. Gandhi, the poster boy for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
He without sin casts the first stone.
It ain't you guys, douchebags.
No, it's not. I'm so sorry to inform you of that.
I am not sorry to inform you. You guys are fucking evil.
They'll be the first to say that that they're not the judges. They're not judges. It's just in the scripture. It's like, well, shut up.
This reminds me of the joke, which I looked up so that I can actually tell the joke correctly.
Scripture, then.
Eskimo, if I did not know about God and sin, would I go to hell? Priest, no, not if you did not know. Eskimo, then why did you tell me?
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Owned.
Yeah.
Owned by the Eskimo.
And that's certainly one of those things. It's like, if you wanted everybody to go to heaven and you knew for sure that if you did not tell them, if you did not enlighten them, that they would still go, then isn't it your duty to make sure they don't know?
Yep.
Yeah. It's your sacred duty. So you yourself, because you're not following the scripture where we're supposed to tell everybody, you yourself would go to hell, but you'd save everyone after you.
And that act of self-sacrifice would therefore redeem you. But Andy, it's things like that got you and me kicked out of Sunday school. Correction, asked politely not to return.
Because obviously.
Did you know that there's a Methodist church down the road?
I was brought up in a Presbyterian church right here in River City, and they simply could not answer the questions that I was posing during Sunday school, so I was asked not to come back.
Yeah.
I asked uncomfortable questions and got to play with a soccer ball outside all the time.
Yeah.
That was punishment?
Apparently.
Well,
because I sat through several years of private Catholic school myself, and man, I'd love to go play with a soccer ball instead of listening to those damn rants.
You should have been more outspoken.
Yeah.
I've never been one to shut my mouth.
That's certainly true.
So it's things. I questioned a lot of stuff.
Well, there's plenty to question. The thing is that it's called faith because if you had proof, it would no longer be faith.
Proof denies faith, and therefore...
Right, so when you start to ask for proof and obviously those that are faithful don't have any because otherwise it wouldn't be called faith, then you kind of get into that argument where you cannot coexist in the same sphere.
Well, but even if you're not asking for proof, because I wasn't asking for proof, I was just asking questions of inconsistent logic, like where did Mrs. Cain come from? If there were only Adam and Eve and they only had Cain and Abel, where did Mrs. Cain come from?
Yeah.
Where's the rest of humanity come from? Shouldn't it have ended right there? I mean,
and God disappears in a puff of logic.
Yeah, you're
Why are there more than 2 skin colors if there were only 2 original humans?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, these are all the questions that are usually not talked about around the dinner table, and that's why we're talking about them here. Because we don't go in for that kind of crap. But the real gist of this story is that it is an amazing divide, and if you really examine a lot of the scriptural readings and things like that, there's no real even evidence for hell.
Yeah, no, I think it's something that the Catholic Church came up with to control people, basically, using fear.
Like the
and when it was questioned,
using fear to control people
by like
no, surely not. No, that would be wrong.
Luther and stuff like that. They didn't like that.
What was the
Well, they thought that they had to pay money to be forgiven of their sins.
What was the?
You talking about indulgences?
Yeah, indulgences. That's what I was trying to think of. Yeah. To try to stay out of purgatory, you have to pay your indulgences. Yep. That wasn't even hell. That was just to stay out of purgatory.
But I thought money I thought money was the root of all evil. So wouldn't giving you money be putting evil into your hands? Isn't that wrong?
No. You give it to the church. That way the church can take care of the evil for you.
It will turn evil into good. Yes, that's it.
Yeah. And you guys are walking around in silk robes with gold crowns. I don't fucking believe
If no one has seen the Louis C.K. thing on the Catholic Church, you probably should.
Which was it?
Oh man, the Louis C.K. skit about the Catholic Church. Have you seen that?
I don't think I've seen the Louis C.K. one. I know I've seen the Louis Black one. He has a great rant about church.
Oh, yeah. Well, like, can't believe I'm going to say this on air, but he's like, "What's the church all about?" And priest looks him dead in the eye and goes, "Oh, the church is all about fucking young boys." And he's like, "What? I thought it was about, saving souls." "Oh, no, that's just all fluff."
Oh, I really
like, whoa.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about the whole thing other than anybody that thinks that someone with a wonderful spirit of, friendly, kind, is a good father, he did great things, just humanitarian ones.
A
lot of joy.
He was the voice of our childhood.
Yeah. Like, so you're saying the genie is rotting in hell?
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Yeah. I mean, he dealt with a lot of the dark issues that all of us navigate through at some point in our lives. And he brought them with, characters like Patch Adams. Of course, the teacher from
Dead Poets Society.
Dead Poets Society. There's suicide in that movie. I mean, so many of his roles have been right on the borderland between that dark place that we fear to tread.
It's like, this is gonna be great. It's Robin Williams, and then, oh my god.
Yeah, and the absent
to Smoochie,
laughing your ass off.
There is one movie of his that I cannot watch again. I can't do it. What Dreams May Come.
Yeah, it's just
I can't sit through it a second time. I can't do it.
He was trying to get the wife out of purgatory.
I can't do it.
Because what? Because she committed suicide.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's hard. It's a really hard topic, and of course we're going to talk about a lot of the mental health issues next week. So that's going to be another tough episode.
I'm warming up
for the mental health episode.
I'm revving up for this one.
Opening
I am going to sit back with my case of beer and watch him go.
Yeah. Well.
Pandora's
You better believe I've got words to say.
Well, we need to. Speaking of that, we need to do a sub meeting and figure out how we want to address these topics and make it something that's digestible for you, our listener out there. And if you have any comments on that and what you'd like to hear us examine, because we are going to actually have a former professional in to help us navigate these waters. And it'll be interesting because she was a mental health care worker, and she just recently tried to commit suicide. So that alone is going to be interesting.
Been there.
Yeah, well, it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon at all.
It's a lot more common than people want to believe. That's for damn sure.
So the bottom line here is that the really evangelical side of religion, including, it's not just Christians, it's many Muslims are happy to claim the same sort of thing, and any faith that believes in eternal torment for temporary life, they all think that he's probably in the fires of hell, or whatever that place may be called. Whereas
there's a lot of other good people.
Yeah, along with all the people that I personally would probably like to hang out with.
Yeah.
See you guys there.
Yeah.
We'll be jamming right next to the lake of fire.
That's right.
Bring the sunscreen.
That'd be a place for the barbecue.
SPF fire.
Yeah, but of course this is one of the things that turns people against religion.
Yeah.
In a big way. And if you take a secularist that doesn't believe in an afterlife and things like that, they just see it as, look, this is the one life we have, and there's no heaven to look forward to. There's thankfully no hell to fear either. This is what we've got. Live it to the best of your ability, and when we're done, you live on in the memories of those that you've left behind.
Yeah.
Now, thankfully, Robin Williams left a really great legacy.
Yeah.
And I've been getting all of the movies in his discography, essentially, of his works that I have not yet seen, and it's like, wow, he was in that, he was in that, he was in that. I didn't know that. Okay, now I got to get that, I got to get that.
There's a ton
So
of stuff.
there's that. Yeah. Oh, he's prolific, absolutely prolific, and that's not uncommon for somebody that is running away from demons, is to throw themselves into their work, because that's the only time they feel normal.
Yeah, Correct did an article on that very phenomenon because they have it's a comedy site, so they have a lot of people doing comedy, and there has been this, as psychology has been moving into the area of actually trying to help people. They found out that people who are the funny people are often the people who are the most fucked up. There's a connection there, and they're not entirely sure why.
Yep.
Like John Belushi.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a list. What's the other?
Chris.
Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, Chris Farley. Yeah, Andy Kaufman. The list can go on for ages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad how many.
It grows every day.
I mean, at least Robin Williams was a ways up in age. A lot of these other ones go when they're young.
He was on his third wife, and things were going well there. He was not visibly shaken. He was doing very well. He had not fallen off any wagons, as it were. But yeah,
he must have stumbled off a deep, dark cliff somewhere.
It's like potholes on a country road at night. You can't see them coming, and you just go boom.
The Parkinson's thing, I have a feeling, played a big part of it, because that can get, if it gets worse, it can go really downhill fast, and he probably didn't want to burden his family, his new wife or newer wife, and anything with a lot of that.
We can talk about the justifications and non-justifications for it. Yeah. Ultimately, if you have suicidal thoughts, do seek help. People people care and they want to spend as much time with you as possible.
Yeah, I am.
Honestly,
I have always been of the on the Kevorkian side of the argument. I do think there comes a time when it should be a person's right to choose. It's just like, all right, you know what? I'm done. I've lived. I don't want to deal with all this nightmare that's headed my way with whatever it is, whatever horrible thing that's happening to me.
I've got maybe a couple weeks left of agonizing pain that the medications stopped helping with.
But you know what? You really should think twice about it, and then do it again, because there are so many other reasons not to do it, and so many people that are reasons not to do it.
That's where, similar vein. If you're ever thinking about taking out a payday loan, do anything else than take out that payday loan.
Yes.
It's kind of like that. Anything else is literally better than that. And if you're thinking about committing suicide, just equate that immediately to a payday loan, and know that it is the wrong thing to do.
Yep.
And anything else is better than that.
Which
literally.
That's why it should be turned over to a professional. And
you will be in less trouble if you miss that next payment than if you take out a payday loan.
Yeah.
Exactly. So please, if you are traveling the dark road and you don't feel like you have anybody within your circle that is capable of understanding or helping or doing anything, and you don't want to burden them, we understand this. You don't want to burden your friends and family with your own dark demons. You don't want to bring them down. We understand that. Call 1-800-273-8255. That's the National Suicide Prevention Line. Okay? They're trained professionals, not like us, who are just armchair quarterbacks trying to get ourselves through the day as much as anyone else.
And now, I will also add to that, having been someone who has relatively recently been looking at that particular 6-foot drop, I've never called the hotline. I've never had a need to, because I've been surrounded by good people who understand what I'm going through, mostly because they too are going through similar things. Sometimes, though, it can come from just the most random place you can imagine. This is back when I was working at Walmart. I had a complete breakdown while I was in the dairy cooler. And one of my coworkers, a guy who I'm work friends with this guy. We don't hang out, but I'm work friends with this guy. Because I got to the point where I stopped giving a shit what if other people could tell how I was feeling and just let go. He talked me out of it. He just came over, and he didn't even know what was going on. He had no idea about my depression or whatever, but he saw that I was upset, and he was just like, I know shit sucks, man, but it'll be all right, And he was just being a nice guy because I wasn't afraid to let it be seen. And he saved my life, and he doesn't even know it. And he never will, because now I don't work at that job anymore. So,
listen.
Just reach out.
Yeah, that's the thing. Have you ever walked through someplace and somebody that you don't know any of these people in a crowd, but they smiled at you, and you immediately felt slightly better?
Mm-hmm.
Be that person. That is your homework. If you take anything away from the show, is just smile like an idiot everywhere you go.
Wave to somebody as you're passing them.
Yeah,
you get some startled looks.
Yeah. Hold the door.
I like,
Yeah.
Hold the door. I try to make eye contact with as many people as possible, and I nod hello.
Yeah.
I acknowledge you exist. Hey, hope you're having a good day.
Yeah.
We are fellow human beings on this same ball of dirt.
And something that helped me through some dark times too was simply being the person that smiled and did those things.
Yeah.
Because it's like fishing. You're not going to get a smile every time. You're not going to reel one in. But law of averages say if you do it often enough, you're eventually going to get something.
Yeah.
You're going to get that positive feedback.
Yeah.
And, well, you're not being an asshole.
Yeah.
So there's always that.
Yeah. You can get into an elevator and say, "Hey, hi, how is your day going today?"
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Just small talk. You working hard or hardly working today?
You might want to avoid it at the urinal.
Yeah.
Because
you're supposed to pee in silence like reverent monks.
Exactly.
Yes.
There's certain social norms that you kind of avoid. But hey, if you're really absolutely happy.
If you're in a bathroom and there's 40 urinals on every wall and one other person in it, you don't go to the urinal right next to them.
No, always you got to have that one urinal buffer.
Yep.
At least.
If space allows.
If space allows, you go to a different wall.
Yeah. Basically,
there's always the handicap stall because everyone wants to be in the handicap.
Oh yeah.
Let's be honest.
It's the lap of luxury right there.
Might as well come with a
for the urinal thing, it's kind of like I heard a saying a long time ago and it stuck with me. The urinals, ATMs, any time that a man has valuables out of his pants is a time to stand back to have separation.
I like that. I like that. That is clever.
Excellent.
Awesome.
I'm gonna keep that one. Keeping that one.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. So, thankfully, we get to end that segment on that guffaw. And now we can move on to something else that's tragic, and that'd be Ferguson.
Oh, okay. Before we move on to that, I actually have to go. I did not know that I had to depart early.
Oh.
That this just sort of got sprung on me, but I got to bail. So
Well, the spring sprung. Okay.
So I do have plugs.
Okay.
Get that out of the way.
Well, let's go straight. Let's go straight to your plugs. We'll do it a little out of order. That's fine. Go ahead.
Do the plug segment. I got two quick things. Again, from the Gamer Nerd is going to come your weekly dose of video game plugs. This is one that's not out yet. It's actually on its way. The release date is looking to be October of this year. It's called Civilization Beyond Earth. And it looks to be the spiritual successor to the best Sid Meier game no one ever played, Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri. It is going to be civilization in space on an alien planet, and I can't fucking wait. It looks amazing. So go search for Civilization Beyond Earth. Check it out. Watch the videos. Be as excited as I am, please, so I don't feel like such a huge nerd.
Hey, I played the original Civilization DOS version here last week.
This is for you! Alright, my other plug here is, this is swinging to the other extreme, going retro on this one. I just recently, a couple months ago, entered the smartphone world, and I was very bored on a Radio Shack shift the other day, because I do work at Radio Shack, and I was very bored, and I'd been there all day, so I finally got my lunch break, and I was sitting in the break room like, what am I going to do with myself? And I was like, you know what I really want to do? I really want to play Earthbound, my favorite Super Nintendo game ever, because I always want to play Earthbound, because it's one of the greatest games that's ever been seen. So I went onto the Google Play Store and found Super GNES. It is a Super NES emulator for smartphones. It works fucking fantastically. It has a whole bunch of slots for save states, so you can pause and save anywhere. It's got a nice slick little interface. They just recently released a patch that fixed a crash bug, so it's working flawlessly again. And one of my favorite things about it, it's just a little thing, but it's my favorite thing about it is on any game that they have in their database, which is when you download a ROM, it checks against their database to see if we know what this game is, and their database doesn't have everything on it, but it's getting there. If it's on the list, you press the menu button on your little simulated Super Nintendo controller at the bottom of your phone screen, and it has a button that will link you to the GameFAQs entries for that game. So if you are lost in whatever game you are playing, it is one button press and you are right to a game guide, which is just really exciting. It makes me happy. So that's a good one.
Very cool.
Yes.
Nice.
All right.
Apparently, you're also supposed to plug something else, according to one of the people that we actually have in the chat room.
What?
Destiny says, "I hope Michael plugs Destiny."
Oh yes, I have heard in the ether of this thing called Destiny that is on its way. I have not looked into it a whole bunch, mostly because, judging from the look of it, the brief glances that I have, my computer won't be able to run it yet.
Well,
and I need to get it upgraded.
The developers of Halo, the Halo franchise, so it's going to be an Xbox baby.
Well, but it'll probably make it to.
It'll probably make it to PC.
He says
also on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I don't have either. I don't have consoles anymore. I'll be interested if it goes to PC. But like I said, my computer is in dire need of an upgrade, which will be coming in the next couple of months, and I'll look at it then.
Dire PC needs upgrade.
We can do these kind of things. We have the technology.
It's bad.
We can make it better, faster, stronger.
And you better believe I'm going to be asking you for advice, Andy. All right. Well, I am going to bounce. Unfortunately, you will not have my vitriolic comments for this Ferguson thing because I had a couple of zingers lined up. But all I have to say, I'm gonna condense it down.
Okay. Zip it.
Power to the people, and fuck those racist cops. That's all I'm gonna say.
Fair enough.
Okay.
I'm out.
Fair enough.
Peace out, sir. Cheers to you.
Thanks for being here.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Also, speaking of thanks for being here, we have two people that are not on the show in the chat room.
Oh, wow.
And that makes me happy. And I'm not used to that, so I actually wasn't looking. And all of a sudden we have somebody that's like really super vocal in there, and it's like, I'm stupid. Anyway.
It's excellent.
David.
It's excellent.
Doing that. Yes. It's like, where are you getting this? Oh, okay. Oh, whoa. Jeez, there's stuff in there. And there's like, oh my god, I have to scroll up to see all the text.
And Gecko Girl's in there, too. We haven't seen Gecko Girl in a long time in the chat room.
Excellent. Thank you both for being there. Dokujitsu? I guess that's Dokujitsu.
Dokujitsu and Gecko Girl.
Excellent. Thank you both for taking part in this fiasco.
We can finally add the S to fans.
Hey!
To make a shout out to our fans.
Hey, the metrics somehow actually work out, and we actually do have more than one. Yay! Not only are they downloading the podcast, no, they're actually watching live.
Boom. You could be here. This could be you.
Could be. So, Ferguson. This place is an absolute mess. So, an 18-year-old named Michael Brown, and yes, that was also the color of his skin. We'll just get that out of the way right now. This particular area is a little bit more ethnocentric towards darker skin color than other areas, and as
like
such,
65%, right?
Yes, and as such has seen a great deal more police traffic, like I'd say 3-to-1 in many regards of people being taken into custody versus those with fairer skin. Well, lighter, not fairer, because obviously the things that are going on are not fair.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's lots of things that go on that aren't fair, statistic-wise. We could cut out all types of metrics that.
Exactly. Yeah. So what we have is Michael Brown, 18 years old, 11:48 a.m. on noon Saturday, August 9th. An officer responds to a call of a sick person. A few minutes later, another call comes in about a robbery at a convenience store. The dispatcher quickly gives the description of the robber and says the suspect is walking toward the Quick Trip convenience store. A few minutes after that, the officer encounters Michael Brown and a friend as they walk down a street. Brown is shot to death as a result of the encounter. This is at 12:01 Saturday, August 9th. A few minutes later after that, a second officer arrives on the scene, followed by a supervisor. 1 minute later, an ambulance responding to the earlier sick person call drives by and responds to assess Brown. 10 a.m. the following day, Michael Brown, 18, was unarmed. St. Louis County Police Chief Joe Belmer says in a news conference, Belmer says Brown physically assaulted the officer, and during the struggle between the two, Brown reached for the officer's gun. One shot was fired in the car, followed by other gunshots outside the car. Brown's parents retained an attorney, Benjamin Crump, who represented the family, and represented the family of Trayvon Martin as their counsel. Of course, we know Trayvon from Florida. Candlelit vigil to honor Brown was later turned violent. More than a dozen businesses are vandalized and looted. More than 30 people are arrested, and 2 police officers suffered injuries, police said. Monday, August 11th, 5 a.m., the first day of school is canceled in Jennings near Ferguson for safety of students who could be walking. Ferguson, 7 a.m., Ferguson police and city leaders say a number of death threats to the police force have been received in relation to the fatal shooting. 3 hours later, hundreds gather outside the Ferguson Police Department and demand justice for Brown's death. Police arrest at least 7 people. An hour later, the FBI announces the agency will do a parallel investigation into the shooting of Brown. 2 p.m., St. Louis County Police Department announces it will release the name of the officer who is accused of shooting Brown by noon Tuesday. 4 p.m., parents and attorney of Brown hold a press conference where they ask for a stop to violence and demand justice for their son. 6 p.m., community members and leaders meet and pray at a meeting hosted by the NAACP. 8 p.m., several gather again on West Florence Avenue in Ferguson, and police use tear gas to disperse crowds that did not protest peacefully. Tuesday, August 12th, early morning, police announced 15 arrests stemming from Ferguson events Monday evening. In addition, St. Louis County Police Chief says the name of the officer involved in the shooting will not be released due to threats on social media. 10 a.m., protesters gather at St. Louis County Police Department headquarters for a peaceful protest where a list of demands was given in relating to the investigation of Brown's death. At noon, Reverend Al Sharpton arrives in St. Louis to speak to the Brown family, and he made his way around the St. Louis area to demand justice in the fatal shooting. Sharpton and family spoke on the old courthouse steps early Tuesday afternoon. And of course, there's video to accompany all this. Tuesday afternoon, a preliminary autopsy report of Brown is released by the St. Louis County Medical Examiner's Office. The FAA announces air restrictions over Ferguson to allow for law enforcement helicopters. 3 p.m. Now you notice they just restricted airspace ahead of anything.
Yep.
Yeah, not good.
That's a little odd. I'm not sure why they would do that. Why would they even be anticipating that they're going to need police helicopters?
Well, and I have some things to say on that, but we can get through the time.
Airspace never been needed to be cleared out for a police chopper?
Never really.
They come in all the time anyway.
I think it was a move. Well, if you look at what was also happening, they arrested 2 reporters.
Well, that comes later. But they
That's like the next day.
Well.
Or is it the same day? Later that day.
Yeah, it's later this day.
It's to keep the press out of their business.
Yeah, the FAA air restriction would limit access to news choppers from the area.
Yeah.
So, 3 p.m., officials charge 9 people in relation to looting in Ferguson Sunday night into Monday morning. 4 p.m., President Obama releases a statement regarding the Brown incident. the Justice Department announces it will take on reviewing police tactics across the country. 7 p.m., Governor Jay Nixon, City of St. Louis mayor, and other area leaders come together to speak on the Brown case at a separate public meeting. Reverend Al Sharpton and the Brown family urge a peaceful fight towards justice for Michael Brown. 10 p.m., tensions rise between protesters and the police for the third consecutive night. So this has just been an ongoing fiasco, really. KSDK TV reporter Farrell Fazal, I'm terribly sorry for butchering that name, speaks to Dorian Johnson, a man who come forward as an eyewitness to Brown's shooting. Now we're into Wednesday. After a third night of protests full of tension, the city of Ferguson asked protests and vigils for Michael Brown to be held during the daytime. 10 a.m., a number of volunteers gathered to help the city start to pick up the pieces after tense and violent episodes in prior days. KSDK learns Wednesday afternoon that Brown's remains had been turned over to the family. 3 p.m., the Justice Department opens a federal civil rights investigation related to the Ferguson shooting. Ferguson police say that a news conference that the 911 tape from Saturday would be released soon. 4 p.m., Brown had no criminal background. The St. Louis County Prosecutor's Office discloses. 6 p.m., Ferguson Florence School District postpones the first day of school until August 18th due to safety concerns for its students. School was set to start August 14th. Police detained 2 reporters, one from the Huffington Post and another from the Washington Post, at a Ferguson's McDonald's. 9 p.m., police begin to throw tear gas at protesters in Ferguson in order to disperse crowds. During the commotion, police also force media to move back out of the area and throw tear gas at an Al Jazeera America crew. There's some pictures of that. 10 p.m., Governor Jay Nixon announced via Twitter that he's canceling his visit to Missouri State Fair Thursday to visit Ferguson.
Yeah. Visit, he says. No, he's going to Ferguson to whoop some ass.
Well, given I was online at the time and just, watching the Twitter stream through this, and it was just
shitstorm.
I wouldn't want to be that mayor. I wouldn't want to be the governor. I wouldn't want to be anywhere in politics in that state. They lost their shit. They really did.
Oh yeah, he went there to unfuck that mess. That's what he did. He's not there to visit. He's there to be like, okay, here's what happens now. Everybody in power, you're going to sit your ass down. I'm bringing in a new team to handle this fucking mess because you have fucked it all up. I'm bringing in my A-team. I'm calling in favors from out of state.
That happened later. That didn't happen right away. Also during this time, the city of St. Louis alderman Antonio French is arrested for unlawful assembly. Now we're on to Thursday, August 14th. 6 a.m., police announced 16 people have been arrested and 2 officers injured during the 4th night of violence. The city alderman Antonio French is released from jail at 7 a.m. without formal charges and posting bond. So he wasn't actually charged for anything. He was simply detained.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing, incidentally.
Thursday is when the shift of power happened.
Yeah. That's because you don't rough up 2 members of the media who have been tweeting the entire time. You don't rough them up in a McDonald's that has more surveillance than the rest of the state and expect things to go well.
No, there was no way that was going to end well for the Ferguson police.
They planned one of them against the Coke machines, asking them to get out. And they were proceeding to get out, but they weren't getting out fast enough, so they arrested them.
That's just
I don't even know what to say about that. And then, of course, during that time, they tear gas an Al Jazeera America film crew who was live streaming the event.
That's always smart as well.
They tear gassed them and then dismantled their equipment after they fled.
Which doesn't matter because they were live streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you get to see them take it down. I mean, obviously, David, your link about police intelligence quotient might come into play here because you're taking down video equipment while it's watching you.
Yes. No, I think 100% that comes into play here, not just on behalf of the boots on the ground, as it were, but the people actually calling the shots and giving the preparatory meetings for these guys before they actually go into the field. Rather, that's good vodka. I can't speak.
I really wonder how much of this was just freestyle improvisation, because this is not the kind. No battle plan like this ever survives contact with reality. In the first place. But
the way that they rolled into the neighborhoods and rolled into the protests was in an insightful manner. When you show up and immediately level weapons at people, that's going to take things up a notch.
They fired at unarmed women and children with rubber bullets and tear gas.
Yeah.
Why?
Because
I don't know how they could possibly feel threatened by a small child and their mother, who are now crying horribly. Now, during this timeline, is being very basic on what events actually occurred, but around this, during the time when I think it was about a few hours before the reporters were taken into custody, there were tweets from people in Gaza, in Israel, telling them the best ways to deal with being tear gassed. Just let that sink in a little bit.
Gaza feels sorry for Ferguson, Missouri.
Yeah.
Gaza just had tanks roll on it.
What country are we in?
Yeah.
We're in bizarro world at that point. When they're saying, okay, just remember, don't touch your face, don't touch your eyes, don't use water. We've experienced vinegar actually counters it best. Use Coke or milk.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Good
So
that makes sense.
There's your tips for the day. Don't rub your eyes. Don't use water. You'll just make it worse. Use something that will counter it. Apparently, Coca-Cola works. Milk is also a good base. That'll help. And someone's saying no, don't use that. But vinegar. We've had great luck with vinegar.
They've had luck, so they've had experience to try these things.
Yeah, this is battle experience. Okay.
And now, after 4 nights so far, to your description.
Well,
and they were saying it's like, just stand strong. You'll live through it. It won't kill you. Yeah, it hurts like hell. Try this.
It's also important to know what happened Thursday and Thursday night, where the highway patrol took over for the local police.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to Thursday yet. Well, we haven't gotten into Deep Thursday, but there were also diagrams for how to turn like a plastic jug into a makeshift tear gas mask.
Huh. Oh, wow!
There were some. It was an amazing night on Twitter. It was really an amazing night. So yeah, it was #Ferguson. It was busy. It was really busy. And of course, they were just calling the governor a chump for not actually getting involved fast enough, and it was very much like a play-by-play of things that were happening, and a lot of conversation between the reporters that were being roughed up, and we knew exactly when they went off air, basically, because they stopped tweeting, and then immediately they came back on, once they were finally released, and you don't want to do that to a reporter.
No.
Because as soon as you let them loose, oh man, you are so hosed.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Especially if they were in the right.
It's beyond that.
Yeah.
It's beyond even that reporter, because what happens when you arrest one reporter? Oh, they arrested a reporter?
Oh,
come on, boys.
Yeah.
We're going to Ferguson.
I'm sorry. What? They tear gassed a film crew?
Oh, hey.
What?
Let's get in.
Everybody get in the vans. Let's go.
Yeah.
Because Al Jazeera just got millions of dollars of free advertising. Al Jazeera America.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
they
do great.
That could have been CNN or Fox or MSNBC, but it was Al Jazeera America who has their name plastered everywhere, tear gassed by Ferguson police.
Yeah, you better believe all those folks, they got bonuses. You better believe they got bonuses.
Yeah.
They were in the heat of things. They were right there, and they got tear gassed. Good for them.
Exactly. So, 11 a.m. Thursday, Governor Jay Nixon makes his first stop of many through North St. Louis County in Ferguson. He says operational shifts are ahead for law enforcement in the St. Louis suburb where a police officer fatally shot an unarmed black teenager. The governor told the audience that, quote, "You all will see a different tone." Okay. So, 11:40, Obama addressed the nation on Ferguson and urges the calm. The president called on local police to be open and transparent about their investigation of Brown's death. 3:30 p.m., Governor Jay Nixon announced Thursday that the Missouri Highway Patrol will take control of security in Ferguson and that the unit in the embattled town would be overseen by Captain Ron Johnson. That's a great name, by the way. Ron Johnson.
We had a Ron Johnson.
That's a man who's going to take charge. Yeah.
People might know.
Exactly. He was apparently born and raised near the community, so he has ties there. So good choice. Nice casting. 6 p.m. across the county, silent vigils were held to remember and honor the memory of Michael Brown. Evening night, citizens marched peacefully alongside state troopers, and no violent clashes were reported for the first time this week. On Friday, today, 8:45 a.m., Darren Wilson is named as the officer who shot Brown on August 9th. Wilson has been on the force for 6 years. Oh, actually, let's back up just a step here, because apparently a splinter group of one of our favorite organizations, Anonymous, took it upon themselves to shut down much of the city infrastructure. And in the process, they were seeking out the name of the officer who was involved. They picked a name. It was wrong. In fact, the name that they released wasn't even an officer. So then you have this little conversation between different splinter groups on Twitter saying, you know, geez, you guys really fucking blew it. And it's like, hey, you know, we did what we could. At least we did something.
Yeah, they released audio. It was 911 audio, but it was only the operator. So you have a one-sided conversation without much information that is useful.
It's funny that they were able to only get a one-sided conversation.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That seems odd. But like so many things in this kind of situation, a lot of things don't necessarily add up, and it's going to take an internal affairs investigation and, you know, federal power probably to
well, the FBI is running a investigation side by side with it.
Right. And of course Eric Holder, the Attorney General of the United States, is very involved. He's been updating Obama on things and yeah, so it has national and of course with all the attention from the embattled Gaza, international attention as well.
Yes, Ferguson, Missouri has a lot of attention that they really don't want to have.
Yeah, everyone in the world is looking at Ferguson saying, what the fuck are you doing?
It's like they can't even govern their own cities. Why are they coming over and governing ours?
Yeah, isn't it a fantastic black eye?
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's ugly. So let's see. So he's been on the force for 6 years. No disciplinary action has ever been taken against him. Police Chief Thomas Jackson says the announcement comes 3 days after the police originally said they would, because citing fear for the officer's safety. The police chief also gave details about a strong-arm robbery at a local convenience store that took place moments before Wilson shot Brown. He did not connect Brown to the robbery during the news conference, but in police documents he released to reporters, Brown is named as a suspect. Jackson released dispatch records and video surveillance of the robbery as well. Of course, we don't necessarily know. That's an allegation that he was involved.
Well, there was a piece in there later where the attorney for the family said that it looks like Brown.
Oh, yes, Noon, an attorney for Dorian Johnson, who was eyewitness and interviewed by law enforcement, says that Dorian Johnson and Brown took part in the convenience store robbery prior to the shooting. So that's not looking so good. So he put himself in a bad position.
He stole cigars. What the fuck are you doing?
Really? He stole cigars? That's what happened?
Yeah. Did you watch the video? He's got like 2 or 3 packs of cigars in his hand. And they're not even good ones. There's those shitty over-the-counter ones that come like 4 in this vacuum-sealed bag thing.
Like blunts or whatever, or something like that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Go to ABC, find a $6 or $7 cigar, then we'll talk. But
yeah. Okay. So obviously he's not a complete innocent in that, but you don't deserve the death penalty for stealing smokes.
Well,
so,
yeah.
At 11 a.m., Highway Patrol Captain Ron Johnson, still love that name, says at the security briefing that he hopes peaceful protests continue in Ferguson. Don't burn down our house, he says. That does not prove a point. That does not solve issues. Governor Jay Nixon reassured people that the investigation's focus remains on finding out how and why Brown was killed. And then, of course, at noon, the attorney released that statement of taking part in the convenience store robbery. The family of Michael Brown, about half an hour later, released a statement saying they are beyond outraged by how the information was released in a way to assassinate the character of their son, tying him to the robbery. That is pretty bad. It's not going to change the facts, but the way they are delivered certainly is despicable, I would say. 3 p.m. Chief Thomas Jackson says Darren Wilson, the officer who shot Brown, did not know Brown was a suspect in a strong-arm robbery that happened moments before the shooting. Wilson stopped Brown for walking in the middle of the street. So, okay, yes, he was culpable in a robbery. The officer that killed him stopped him for jaywalking.
No, it wasn't jaywalking. He was walking down the street, from the way that they put it. He was stopping traffic.
He was walking in the middle of the street. Still,
he's walking in the middle of the street, like, hey.
Well, that
part sounded legitimate. Whatever happened after that, we do not know.
Yeah. So
we cannot know.
No. Well, we won't know. Let's look at it that way. We won't know. Somebody out there knows. It is very possible that, given that, yes, he stopped him, then Brown, being all hyped up from having stolen cigars in a strong-arm, quote, robbery, was feeling very threatened, very guilty for what happened, not knowing that he was really just being told to get out of the street. And very well an altercation may have stemmed from there. That's easy to see. That's a pretty good story, that a narrative, if you will, for how things would proceed from there. Now, those are the basic facts of the case. Now, things that went on the ground. You have police with semi-automatic and fully automatic weapons, with tear gas. You have armored vehicles with sonic weaponry mounted to their roofs.
Okay. Most of our troops didn't have this when dealing with Iraqis and Afghanistanis.
Yeah.
Question. Why are they shooting rubber bullets and tear gas when they have the sonic stuff that's non-damaging?
I think you get a lot of
very effective.
I think you got a lot of itchy trigger fingers.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure.
I believe that goes right up to their direct leadership. That spooled them up before they went out into the field, and here's your rules of engagement, guys. And those rules of engagement were,
clear the streets,
hammer down on the fucking man. You're the man. You're here to show those people who's in control of the city.
Yeah.
That's what I really think happened in Ferguson, and that's why I would not be surprised at all to see some fucking heads roll in the wake of this in the names of new people who are now running the police department in Ferguson, Missouri.
Yeah, I did hear that not only was the state troopers taking over, it was also that all of the police involved were relieved of duty for the time being.
Yeah.
Like, all of them have become bench warmers for it. Now, this just in about, today. Apparently, the rioting in Ferguson is going over really well in Moscow. In Russia, they provide an opportunity in this area of sanctions and new Cold War-style settlements to accuse America of being a giant hypocrite.
Yeah. And to be fair, they have a point.
But the riots and protests in Missouri aren't just registering with diplomatic officials. They are also prime-time gold. Little in the state television reports is left to conjecture, save for an addendum offered as a tip to President Obama that the Ferguson riots may not just be local, but have already become a national problem. So that's it's an interesting analysis from a foreign power, from pundits in a foreign power, to indicate that America has a systemic problem of riots and unrest.
Police crackdowns.
Yeah. So where do we go from here? I mean, why are the police better armed than our troops in the sandbox? Why are we arming why are we militarizing? That word has been bandied about, so it's a great word to use here. Why is that happening in America? Why are we militarizing our own police forces?
We're militarizing the civilians. I mean, just in the number of training camps and roving training groups for how to learn military weapons, combat tactics from certified military and police trainers in the United States. That market has ballooned in this country. And then couple that with the increased access to not quite military grade, not full auto necessarily for most people, or as they call it, fun mode. But
nice. Okay. Fun
but
mode.
People with assault rifles, and I know, hey, oh, he's calling them assault rifles. That's because he's scared of them. No, I'm not scared of them. But you know what? There's a place for every tool. And the average person has no fucking use for an assault rifle.
No.
The moniker of assault rifle is for assaulting a position.
Yeah, that is not a hunting rifle.
That is not a hunting rifle. People take it hunting. It can be used for that, but a hunting rifle, you typically only need one shot. You don't unload a clip of ammunition into your very dangerous, armor-laden terrorist deer. That's not going to happen.
Deer, yes. That's what it's for. It's for hunting all the terrorist deer.
Yeah. Al-Qaeda, right?
Yeah. Because that's not a thing. We don't have terrorist deer.
Yeah. They're not suicide bombing our cities. We, you shoot them for food or for sport. Hopefully for food, because you're shooting them for sport, you're just pretty much a dick.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a supporter of
killing things just for the sake of killing things is not okay. That's like, one of the markers of a sociopath. So congratulations on being contender for the next murder of people in the United States.
Yeah, you definitely get borderline there. So, in addition to, of course, the obvious issue of militarizing the police with more toys than they know what to do with, because obviously they don't know what to do with them if they're using them on absolute innocent women and children, is that we obviously still have a problem with race in this country.
Oh, that. Yes.
This shouldn't. It's not even a question. We all know this.
Yes.
We just don't talk about it.
People who admit to reality know this. People who don't admit to reality,
yes,
they'll follow voices that tell them what they want to hear, and those voices might have, 3-letter acronyms that rhyme with ox. But
I don't know what you could possibly be talking about there. Absolutely.
Just being
the Vox
perfectly
network?
vague. The Vox. It could be the Vox
Vox.
network.
No, the Vox.
The Vox network. Yeah.
The Vox.
Probably those guys. Fuck those guys.
Something that rhymes with Box Network. Yeah. I think you can probably figure that one out. Though they're not the only ones that are talking around the issue. I think CNN also had a couple programs that were being rather dismissive of the race issue. Some of the commentary, though, that was coming out was really classic, in that they're not black. It's not about that, but they are certainly of a certain continental majority.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, so you mean they're African? Because that's the continent that you're thinking of, right? This was a congressman in Idaho.
I don't understand. I'm not trying to say that there's a lot of things here that don't make any sense, and there's a bunch of stupid motherfuckers here, but I mean, if you're out in the, walking around, whatever age these kids are, they're young, at that hour, I mean, what are you doing,
This wasn't
man?
PM. It was AM. 11:30 AM. Noon.
You fucking
the
serious?
The shooting was AM. Yeah, based on a timeline, yeah. Of course, the fact that there was
AM, the victim was 18 years old.
Yeah.
And if you watch the video, he's a big dude. Big dude.
Yeah, that was mentioned a few times too. That obviously he could very well feel threatened by such a large, intimidating man. And sure, there's an intimidation factor, but the police officer also has body armor, and weapons.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sympathetic to anyone that is going to get out in the field and put themselves in an obvious situation where harm could befall them. And it's very easy to sit back and point at things that have gone wrong because I'm on the internet and I see things that are wrong.
Monday morning armchair general.
Yeah, it's an obvious thing, and that's definitely what a lot of the talking head pundits on all the Ox networks and things like that are saying. They don't know what the hell's going on. They weren't there. That old cliche, you weren't there, man, you don't know. Well, that's true. I don't.
True.
I don't
but
really
if you
know.
pay attention to history, you can see a pattern form for when things very similar to this happen,
Yeah, and that's what we're doing. We're doing pattern analysis.
Yeah.
Because our human brains are really, that's kind of what we're wired for.
Yeah.
We seek out patterns, which is why often we see patterns when there aren't any. So we're definitely fallible creatures in this regard. But I want to give credit where credit is due. Police officers do serve, and they do protect. Not all of them all the time. That is a given. I think that has to be a given. But there are bad apples. That does not spoil the whole bunch, at least, boy, I really hope it doesn't.
There's hundreds of thousands of them. There's going to be bad apples.
Yeah.
Just by statistics alone, you're going to have people who go and do things that they really ought not do to other people.
Yeah, they cross the line. The line is fuzzy, and as many justices have said, I can't define what pornography is, but I know it when I see it. It kind of goes along with the same line of this. It's like, I can't exactly define where police brutality comes into play, but I sure as hell know it when I see it.
Like when you see a guy get launched out of a minivan and then, sliding kick to the head by a cop while he's lying on the ground bleeding.
There was a video that it was a montage of police brutality, and it absolutely disgusts me. The things that were in this clip. I'll have it probably out on our Facebook page, if it's not there already. Yeah. In one case, there's a high-speed pursuit, and they do the little thing where they tap the rear bumper of the minivan, which causes a loss of control. It goes off onto the soft shoulder, rolls probably 5 times, and the perpetrator is not buckled in and flies out the window of the vehicle on roll 3. All the police cars, like 6 police cars, so it's a big chase. I don't know the rest of the story, nothing about it. All I know is that as soon as they stopped, they hurled their doors open, and one guy, literally, he runs like 16 feet, just sprinted, and then slides into home base being the guy's head.
Yeah. Literally, like, imagine somebody sliding into a plate and lifting up their leg to kick somebody. Yeah. That happened.
And then, as if that wasn't bad enough, okay, he's just been in a horrible car accident. What do you do with people that are in a horrible car accident? Typically, they're responsible.
My first instinct is to dogpile them with as many people as I have around and pummel them. Obviously.
Well, obviously, you were on the right.
Obviously. That's what you do.
Because that's what happened. Instead of restraining the guy on a board to make sure that no further injuries, impacted him, because he could have his neck broken, he may never walk again to begin with. And now you've immediately kicked his head. Okay, there's 1 strike. And then all of the rest of them pile on and start beating the shit out of him. All I have to ask is, what could possibly make that many people that mad at one person?
I posted a link to that. Stupidity. Stupidity can do that.
Let's look at that link.
It's like adrenaline,
Adrenaline rush and stupid
what
people.
It sounds like.
Yeah, it kind of goes straight to a mob mentality kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, David, you found this link.
This is something I found out about quite some time ago, and it really shocked me when I saw it.
It's an older article from October last year. Police officially refuse to hire applicants with high IQ scores.
There's literally a maximum IQ you can have to be a police officer.
It's a staggering statistic, really.
Let me say that one more time. There is literally a maximum IQ you can have to be a police officer.
Wait, shouldn't that be the other way around?
Shouldn't it be a minimum IQ? No, it's a maximum IQ. They will not hire you if you are too bright.
The policy became solidified as a concrete federal ruling almost a decade and a half ago with little fanfare from the mainstream media. Back in 1999, a federal judge dismissed a lawsuit by a police applicant who was barred from the New London, Connecticut police force. The reason for the disqualification was literally because he had scored too high on an intelligence test. The department made it clear they didn't want the bottom of the barrel in terms of intelligence, but they didn't want anyone too smart either. The ruling made public in September of the same year. With the ruling, Judge Peter C. Dorsey of the United States District Court in New Haven confirming that it was in fact the case that the plaintiff, Robert Jordan, 48 years old, who has a bachelor's degree in literature, was denied an opportunity to even interview for a job with the New London Police Department solely because of his high test scores.
Okay.
And this is why things are the way they are in Ferguson, Missouri.
Now, we were talking in the pre-show about, maybe the same kind of thing as in the military. It's not exactly the case, and boy, I wish Mike was still here for that one. If you have a really high IQ in the military, you are weeded out rather quickly. Either A, you are going to realize that you don't want to take orders from other people, or B, you're going to be sent straight into officer training and possibly breaking codes for the rest of your life. There are plenty of things for
you're breaking codes, you're doing computer networks. There's even the Marines have nerds.
Yeah, the Marines do have nerds.
Despite the jarhead moniker that goes along with them, they have nerds, and those nerds don't see a lot of combat.
That's true.
They need their nerds.
That's true. Yeah, there are definitely places for smart people on police forces and smart people in, call them police actions, around the world. But it's a fascinating thing, and I really hope that it's not something that is everywhere, because we need smart people making really good choices. Maybe it's just that the job that he was inquiring about was one that would be better suited to someone of a lower mental stature. I don't know. I know that there are people that go into narcotics work and undercover work and things like that. I want those bastards to be smart.
Yeah.
Because
with the U.S. Marshals, you have to have a bachelor's degree. They will not accept you without one.
Yeah. So in law enforcement, it's not a blanket statement, but there are pockets of the profession that does not pay to be smart, apparently.
Well, it's shit like this that makes me really worry about the guys who are on the beat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it also explains a lot about why they thought it was a good idea to roll up to candlelight vigils in SWAT gear.
If you come dressed to party, they came dressed to dance, so they danced.
They came dressed to dance, and even all you have to do is fire tear gas into a crowd, and you've got instant chaos. Instant chaos.
It doesn't take much. Yeah, the adrenaline would certainly be palpable.
And in my mind, I can see the chain of events happening. That we've got reports that there's going to be a gathering of people tonight. There's probably going to be looting. You guys get out there and you protect property and you protect people. And they go out there, they see a gathering of people, and they're like, "It's go time." Instead of saying, "Okay."
Yeah.
It's a tense situation. A cop shot a kid. The people are very pissed off about this. We need to get them on our side. We need to collaborate with them. And we need to be there for them in this time of grief and need.
Yeah, and that is definitely not what happened here until too late. You know, this situation exploded. It was a veritable powder keg. You know, you got all they wanted was answers.
Yeah.
That's really the gist of it. Is all they wanted.
They wanted to grieve and they wanted answers,
yeah.
And they got nothing.
Yeah. Now
they got neither.
Now the timeline, of course, gets really fuzzy, and I want to do some diligence in looking at that, because there are claims, of course, that police officers were injured. I'm not surprised, because it's mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to pull a muscle when you're like getting that swing down.
Nice. Yeah. It was tennis shoulder. You know,
tennis elbow goes on. You know, you throw your arm out with that. You know, the nightstick.
Because the nightstick can only break bone when you really go back into that arc.
If you miss kicking somebody and your leg goes up too far, it's real easy to pull a muscle if you're not used to your leg moving that far.
If the target dodges unexpectedly, man, you're really going to be on your butt if you don't make contact with something. It's dangerous business. You got to know how to.
On the literal side of it, if you're throwing cans of tear gas at people, some people might think that as a threat and an attack.
Yeah.
And they may try to defend themselves. I mean,
it's kind of a natural reaction.
No way.
There are two reactions that typically happen: fight or flight.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard of this before.
Yeah.
So vaguely familiar. In the back of my brain somewhere.
Yeah, if you piss off a group of people enough, the flight instinct becomes less pronounced.
When there's a large number of people against a small number of people, and the small number of people are attacking, yes, the large number of people think, hey, maybe we could actually not...
Quote, they can't get us all.
I have to find this article again, but it might be in one of the ones that you linked, but one guy had tear gas fired into his yard, and he's like, what are you doing? This is my home. Which prompted the officer to fire a second tear gas canister at his head.
Yeah,
that's.
Yeah.
What do they say? Hearts and minds. You gotta win hearts and minds.
Yeah.
You are not winning hearts and minds there.
No, far from. That's. Yeah, I think they need to go back to school. You know, like maybe kindergarten, how to share, how not to hit. These things are important. Maybe VPK. You know,
honestly, though, I honestly don't fully blame the boots on the ground. I really blame their leadership.
Yeah, it's easy to point blame. Yeah, we've been over that. It's easy to point blame.
It's easy to point blame, but we got to realize, you know, these guys followed somebody who told them, who got them spooled up.
Well, at the very least, even if that's not exactly what happened, he didn't call off the dogs.
No.
You know, he did not diffuse the situation like a leader would.
No.
And instead, the following day, after all of those people that are responsible for the fiasco have been removed from duty, the new guy stands by their side and wins their hearts and minds.
Yes.
Nothing happens. Everything's beautiful.
Not even 12 hours of him on the shift.
Yeah.
And all the looting and rioting stopped.
Yeah. That is a little bit indicative, isn't it? That, you know, maybe the problem wasn't with the crowd. Just maybe.
Just maybe.
You change one side and everything's right as rain.
Yeah. It's the bullshit chest. If you change one variable and everything else in the whole context of it changes, the whole tone of it changes, there's problems.
Yeah, it's bad.
You've got problems.
Now, during, of course, President Obama had the second press conference, and he very, I listened to the whole thing, and he was He was very PC about the whole thing. He was not really drawing attention to one side or the other being right or wrong. He was basically saying, look, you're both wrong because you both fought with each other. You know, you shouldn't do that. You should not, you know, attack a police officer, and a police officer should not attack innocent people. You know, that's the obvious thing. Now, Fox News, of course, they jumped in and they edited the hell out of that and made it where he was coming in on the side of the protesters.
Oh, no way. They would never edit out his comments to make it look like he was completely one-sided.
According to the tally, it was 4 paragraphs that they edited.
Oh, my.
That's a lot of information.
That's just shocking that Fox would do that.
Yeah, so
this is my shocked face twice in one night.
I know, I'm getting used to your shocked face. And it's all and it's all about Ox News. Now they did that on one of their morning reports, and then they edited it quite nicely in the way that they do, and then they immediately started in on has he picked a side too soon? You know, has he gone in? It's like he didn't pick a side. If you were able to actually listen to the whole thing, he didn't pick a side. In fact, in typical politician fashion, he didn't say anything. He didn't really say anything.
Actually,
he spouted a lot of words.
This time, he didn't say anything. When it came to Trayvon Martin, he said something, he got bit in the ass. I think that his not picking a side is in response to what occurred with the Trayvon Martin case.
Well, between that and not knowing enough to say anything, because he was relying heavily on Eric Holder to provide more information, and he's basically saying, now look, I don't know what happened, but those guys were probably wrong, and those guys were probably wrong, so I'm sending my dog down there to take a look and sniff it out. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You unleash the hounds on the problem, and then they bring back the results.
When time permits, more information versus less information before you make a decision is not a bad thing, or a mark of a bad leader.
Exactly, and it's not as if government in this country works very swiftly.
Now, on behalf of the state and local governments, who worked off of little information and made sweeping decisions involving SWAT police in riot gear, aiming weapons at crowds of people, which is not how you handle a group of protesters. And it was one of the more interesting things I read somewhere is like, people who have taken a class on how to handle riots and protests and whatnot. Lesson 1, your mere presence can exacerbate the situation.
Oh yeah, easily.
So the ultimate goal of a riot cop is to be on hand when needed, but to be invisible when they're not.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't send in the SWAT team until you actually fucking need them. And you certainly don't level weapons at civilians unless they are posing an actual armed, present threat.
Yeah, it's like they just preempted the whole thing. We're expecting problems, so we're going to clear the airspace so that only our helicopters can get in. Well, we're going to equip everybody in the riot gear. We're going to make sure that they've all got the rubber bullets, and I'm surprised that no fire hoses were used. That's one of the other methodologies.
Right.
I don't think they used the sonic weapon, but it was pictured prominently on one of their RVs.
I keep harping on this, and I keep saying it's the leadership, and I will wager this. It's the leadership, and I will also wager the leadership is in their 60s or 70s. And in the world in which they were law enforcement, it was not possible to get pictures of what was happening in real time. So it was not possible to see that you were preempting the attack to which you threw down.
Yeah, that's true. You could only see it after it had already
You could only see the aftermath. Ferguson police put down riot. Third time in 4 days.
Yeah, it's wooden bullets.
You don't see that they showed up to the party with a bunch of people standing around, candles and bags, who were, praying to Jesus for their lost son, and you leveled weapons at them and started shooting them with rubber bullets. And they ran away any way they could, even if they had to break into places to seek shelter.
Yeah. Al Jazeera America has an article here on crowd control, what riot police techniques were being used. Yeah, it's some interesting things. Anyway, I think really we're just going to rehash the same thing because it kind of ends up being a circular argument. You end up just eating your tail, as it were. We can't answer this. We don't have enough information. We just know that it's a big problem. It's systemic. We need to kill it. We need to nip it somewhere, but we need to figure out where it lives so that we can do it everywhere.
Here's my hint. It was with the leaders.
Exactly. But, one thing for accountability would be for all police to have to wear body cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they should have started doing that 5 years ago when the technology, we've got fucking GoPro.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are already wearing fucking Molly Webb gear on their daily beat. They can strap a GoPro to it.
Yeah.
And to qualify that, I mean, Sanford Police, we're sitting in a Pollo Tropical having lunch or dinner one day, me and Claire, and Sanford Police shows up, and they're wearing fucking body armor, Molly Webbing body armor with military-type radios and all kinds of pouches and clips and shit.
Yeah.
And walk outside, and there's no squad cars. That's their beat vehicles. These are the beat cops in their beat vehicles wearing military-type Molly Webbing gear. And I'm like, the fuck is this? And then another story...
I got a question. Does that make you feel more safe or less safe?
Neither.
Neither?
That has no effect on me.
Okay, good. That's also always an option. Neither or both.
Ultimately, it goes down to the individual utilizing the gear. Ultimately. Yeah. So whether they're using this versus that, it's a net zero.
It makes me feel a little bit less safe, but not because of what they're wearing, but why they're wearing it. Because that makes me...
they're wearing it because it's the term is tactical.
That's
the actual term. Tactical, O-O-L. Tactical. Yeah. It's tactical gear. You're a cool guy. You're not just police. You look like fucking Navy SEAL police.
I was wearing Molly Webbing before it was cool, man.
Yeah.
Bunch of hipster SWAT teams out there.
Now, on the flip side of that equation, the stuff Molly Webbing is by design configurable, so it's neat stuff to have anyway. But you don't need to pair that up with the drop leg holster and they had devices on there that I love tactical shit. I love tactical. I look into that stuff because, zombie apocalypse prepping sort of thing. But they had stuff on their gear that I could not identify. And I was like, I found myself in there eating my, grilled chicken going, what the fuck is that?
Excuse me, sir. What are you wearing? What is that thing that you're wearing?
They all had this like square box, and I should have asked. I kick myself every day that I didn't ask, but they had this square box with a button on it. And I was like, what the fuck is that?
It's
probably a panic button. Probably a panic button or something.
That's my best guess.
Yeah.
Was it a camera? Was it a button, or was it?
It was a button. It was not a camera.
Protected lens. Okay, just checking.
It probably wasn't a camera.
It's definitely a button.
Yeah, they are not going to wear cameras if they don't have to.
Oh no, because that would
absolutely not. Yeah, there was a lot of outrage when vehicle cameras got implemented. They didn't want them either. Shocking.
Because they're kind of necessary now.
Yeah, because then you're held accountable. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny story. I worked for a company that we were putting GPS units in different vehicles. We put them in police units, and those guys were some of the biggest dicks about Big Brother's watching me. You're Big Brother. You are Big Brother.
There's always a bigger fish. Always a bigger fish.
there's always a bigger fish, but when it comes down to it, you are Big Brother on a day-to-day basis. You represent the man.
You are the foot.
The man wants to know where your fucking car is. The man can know where your car is.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, it's not your car. You don't own it. You don't keep it if you leave that job.
Well, ownership is 9/10, right? Something like that.
Possession is 9/10 of ownership?
Yeah. Something
like that, yeah.
Something along those lines, especially when you have guns. Now, the thing that would make me feel less safe if I saw very tactical wearing officers is that the reason that they think that they should wear that is maybe that neighborhood is not so safe. Maybe they're wearing it because they feel threatened. Which then gives me all sorts of heebie-jeebies like, maybe I'm in the wrong zip code. Maybe I need to leave.
Yeah.
It just kind of brings a different tone to the whole place. Now, as what I was saying about the sound-emitting weapons, there was a shot, but I don't see that it was used. However, some interesting things. They're using wave weapons now in some of the police actions across the U.S. Stun guns and tasers use electroshock pulses to incapacitate people. In the first half of the last decade, more than 100 people died from such police actions in the United States, which has led to some more interesting less lethal weaponry. Riot police in New York City deployed long-range acoustic devices, LRAD, during the Republican National Convention of 2004 and Occupy Wall Street protests in 2011. Loudspeakers, but not as sound cannons. They weigh up to 300 pounds, and the low-frequency sonic weapon emits pain-inducing tones. Now, in some cases, this can also hit what's very delightfully called the brown note. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah.
But that's a note that's just at the right tone to make you lose control of your bowels.
See, I thought that was proof that really isn't actually fully true. There's a little bit to it, but
I think it's probably an individual basis.
Yeah.
You got to get the right body chemistry at the right body weight and body mass, and
yeah. And besides, don't worry about it. Your ears are probably bleeding before that happens anyway.
Oh yeah.
So, and then there's
decibel levels that they need to reach.
Yeah.
And you're not even hearing it because it's so low that.
Yeah. Then there's the actual war technology, the active denial system, known informally as a heat ray. It was deployed in Afghanistan and has been acquired by the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department for potential prison riot use. With a directed energy blast, the energy increases skin temperatures with a burning sensation using similar radiation technology to microwaves. Ooh. It makes you feel like you're on fire.
Yeah. It's supposed to be not harmful. It only the waves only penetrate like 1,000th of an inch. But literally, the surface of your skin feels like it's melting.
Yeah.
That made me stop and run away.
Well, that is an active denial system. Certainly, it's like okay, I'm going to run away from that.
Mac from Future Weapons tested this thing out. He stood in the beam, and former Navy SEAL can't stand to be in this beam.
Yeah,
and those guys go through some tough shit.
Yeah, but the fact that that's what we're bringing to bear locally now.
Oh yeah.
Is I don't know. I try to avoid certain areas of Los Angeles, but so maybe I would feel more comfortable if I did have such a thing. I don't know.
No.
I wouldn't feel comfortable.
There's so many people in Los Angeles that thing can't point in enough directions at one time.
Just
That's
build
all
it
I'm
into
saying.
your car. It's at 360 degrees around your car, and just turn it on while you're driving.
It still only stops one direction at a time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think I get what you're saying. Where you had it where beam down in every direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Los Angeles is also vertical.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah. You definitely
they can drop bricks on your parade, literally.
Yeah,
they'll
is
drop bricks on your parade.
Drops of bricks and other heavy objects have been dropped from overpasses and things like that. That's some serious business. It's just kinetics.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we're using physics against you. It's rather effective and has been for a really long time.
Well, some people use cannons to get it up this high. We carried this shit here.
Yeah. We are. Yeah.
We let gravity do the rest of the work.
What are they pouring down the murder hole?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, is that boiling oil again?
Oh, I have boiling oil I see coming down the murder hole.
No, it's liquefied lead. Enjoy
Sunflower oil.
Love it.
It has a lower smoke point. Well, I think that's enough. We've exhausted Ferguson and ourselves. So we're done with that.
I'm sure that there's more to Ferguson.
Oh boy, yeah.
But it'll probably be this is going to be maybe months before they fully sort this shit out.
Yeah. It's going to come out in the wash. You're going to find more information comes out.
My suspicion is that Michael Brown assaulted the police officer, lost the upper hand, put his hands up, and got shot.
And may have made a wrong move in some way and looked like he had a gun or something. That's a pretty typical way too.
When you go for a police officer's gun and then you lose it,
yeah,
you're gonna die.
Yeah, it's not good. Not a good thing.
That's my suspicion of what happened there. I don't feel, knowing what I know, that he's 100% innocent in this. Probably not really 10% innocent in this. The real outrage is in the police response after the fact.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was handled very improperly. I mean, anybody that thinks otherwise hasn't been paying attention, really.
Yeah.
You haven't read the rest of it. You must just be just stupid. Go take your IQ test again. That kind of thing. Anyway, so we're into the final stretch. Entertainment reviews and nitpicks or picks or whatever. So I went through and I read a previous pick that was selected by Don. I read Neal Stevenson's Anathem. And boy, that book is just a mindfuck.
Yes. At the end, it gets you in the end. That's where it comes in.
No, well, I don't know. It was pretty deep, man. It was pretty deep. I didn't know where it was going. I certainly had no idea where that book was going. It's a long read, but if you like sci-fi and alternate world kind of theories, boy, you kind of have to like that for this one. Then I definitely recommend picking up a copy at ebooks or audiobooks, or I did the audiobook because I have more time in the car, and it was an interesting read. It was a very interesting read, and now I'm into since I've gotten used to his writing style, because yes, it starts out a little bit slow, and you have a lot of vocabulary to catch up on.
That one was the worst. The worst.
It's rough. Yeah, it's rough in that. So you may find yourself going back a little bit and, okay, I finally understand this concept. Now let me go back and, okay, so that's what they're talking about. That wouldn't be a bad idea for Anathem. Not a bad idea at all.
Well, as for parts of the book, state a dictionary
state definitions from their dictionary.
Yeah.
From that world, from that. Yeah.
But
from
boy,
the
it's not enough.
world. No.
It's not enough.
Nope.
You need more of an encyclopedic kind of thing than just well, I guess the dictionary is more like an encyclopedia, but still that it needed a little bit more expanding for that. But yeah, once you kind of got a hold of it, okay, I understand that now. Now what were they talking about again? Okay, but now I'm also reading another one of his books, Snow Crash, and that's a very popular one with tech heads out there. So that review shall be coming as soon as I finish that one. David, you had a review too.
Well, your book reminded me. I'll give you an author to look into, C.J. Shirai, Cherryh. I haven't dug too deeply into him yet, but I read a book of his a while back. And he's one of those brilliant minds that develops other languages. And by the end of this book, like he built this alien language on math, where the conjugation of words was dependent on how many people were in the room. And by the end of the book, you understand that language. And you're like, he like puts out this phrase in the alien language, and you're like, I get that. Holy shit, I got that.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I have a question. Are the books
I think
older?
it was the Interloper series, where basically humanity ends up on this alien world where their language is based off of math, and
okay.
they the interactions therein that occur.
I'm looking. I was just trying to look it up, and I think I found another author by the same name, but it's a woman. So
it could be a woman.
It's a pen name. So C.J. Cherryh, Cherryh. Well, I'm just curious. I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting read. But that's not what you had in the notes.
No, that's not what I have in the notes. And the one that I have in the notes is On a Pale Horse by Piers Anthony, of Xanth series fame. And what reminded me of this was the talk about ending up in hell with all of our favorite people. On a Pale Horse is part of a series where heaven and hell and earth are real places that actually interact with each other on a real-time basis. And hell buys billboards to advertise going to hell, literally.
What?
So, like, at one point in the book, there's a scene where you see a billboard, and it's this woman scantily clad, and she's, like, stripping off clothes, and just as she's about to reveal all, it switches over to, you won't see this in heaven. It's fantastic. Made me laugh my ass off. But the book is On a Pale Horse, and it's about a guy who becomes the living embodiment of death. And his job, to get the job, he kills death. This is the beginning of the book, so I'm not spoiling.
Okay.
But his job thereafter is to collect souls and send them to heaven or to hell. And I will leave that as it is.
Wow.
The Pale Horse is fucking awesome.
Okay, and I see it's book 1 of 7 in the Incarnations of Immortality set.
I have not finished the series, but book 1 of 7 is fucking awesome. You will enjoy this book. I enjoyed this book. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. Years later, I still reminisce about this book.
On a Pale Horse, bearing an hourglass with a tangled skein, wielding a red sword, being a green mother, for love of evil and eternity. Oh, okay, so those are the 7 in the series. So this is the first one. So oh boy,
It's
stuck to that one, I bet.
It's good. It's really good. If this is the only book of that series you read, you should be pretty happy.
Doesn't look like it's available on Audible. That's okay. I'll find it.
They should fix that. But The hard copy I thoroughly enjoyed. That was one of the books I got from the library when I was a kid. And I still remember it to this day, fondly.
That's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love those books. I love those books that you look back on fondly, especially for me as not a heavy reader when I was a kid. Doing the bare minimum. The ones I did read that really got me, I remember.
Yeah. The book that I still haven't read, funny story behind this. I'm in the library and I'm looking at Piers Anthony and this woman comes up to me and I was like, I don't know, 13 years old. And she's like, oh, let me show you some other books. They're in this other section of the library. Oh, okay, cool. Here's more Piers Anthony. Isle of Women. This book's too old for you. Still have not read that book.
Well, it sounds like you got a reading list, and we're going to have to investigate that.
Yeah.
So, Don, you have a...
Well, I had a few. My mind has been going back and forth between a few things. One, I found this science thing that this rehashes something that we were talking about before with hemp.
Okay.
Another use for hemp. We talked about hempcrete before, making concrete out of hemp. I just found this interesting where there's a link in Habitat posted hemp supercapacitor to store energy. I mean,
as good as graphene at a fraction of the cost.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's as good as graphene, which they did discover a way to mass produce recently.
But if they can produce this at a lot lower cost...
Yeah, hemp grows like a weed, because it kind of is.
They're making graphene with a liquid solution and a CD writer.
What?
Literally, a CD writer. They're putting this stuff on a CDR or CDRW. They're putting a liquid solution on it, hitting it with the laser, and scraping off a layer of graphene.
Very cool.
Okay, I'm sold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything, I mean.
I was like, I can do this shit at home. How much cheaper can this be?
Well, they've been able to make large batches of graphene. The problem was that it wasn't the quality that they needed. So it's sorting out the good stuff. It's just like carbon nanotubes. You can make a lot of carbon nanotubes, but the ones that are in the right form, you got to have.
Yeah. To make Bucky tube paper. Have you heard of that stuff?
No.
It's like a sixth the weight of steel, but 500 times stronger, or something like that.
Huh.
I think it's just under Bucky paper.
Bucky paper out on Wikipedia. Thin sheet made from an aggregate of carbon nanotubes. Nanotubes are approximately 50,000 times thinner than a human hair originally. It was fabricated in a way to handle carbon nanotubes, but it is also being studied and developed into applications by several research groups showing promise as vehicle armor, personal armor, and next-generation electronics and displays, because that's what we need. We need more of that, of course.
Vehicle armor and body armor. This shit is hard. Really, really, really hard.
Yeah. Well, there's a... Okay, I'll just copy.
That's the thing.
Paste that
so
in.
far, they can only make... The little thing you see there, 1.5 centimeters. That's the largest thing they can make of Bucky paper so far.
Okay, I've added a link.
They're working on it. They're working on it.
Wow. Well, at this point, I think that we've... well, it's now the next day for us.
It's the next day. We are on an amazing tangent from where we started.
Well, amazingly enough, we didn't have that many stories. But I knew...
We're still on an amazing tangent.
I knew that that's what we do, so I think this might be the better show format, not having as many stories, but kind of deep diving it a little bit better into that.
I think we still ran over 2 hours.
We are over 2 hours.
Yes.
Yes, we are over 2 hours. I may have to start breaking too.
We need that timer again.
Timer. It's not going to matter anyway. Okay, but that's the end, everybody. goodbye until next week. And remember, that's going to be the mental health episode. So stick around until then. It'll be fun. Bye, everybody. That's it for us tonight. We hope you've enjoyed the show as much as we've enjoyed making it. This is the part where I beg for audience participation. Head over to ORlyRadio.com. That's ORly radio.com and participate in the live stream. Chat with us during the show on our IRC, and if you have topic ideas, email them to us at ORlyRadioPodcast@gmail.com. Leave us a voicemail at 470-222-ORLY 6759 and post and vote on stories on our subreddit at reddit.com/r/ORlyRadio. And if that wasn't enough, we're all over the web. Check out our Facebook page, our Twitter, our Tumblr, our Google+, and even video of the show archived at youtube.com. Consider leaving us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, or if you really love us, really love us, consider help offset the cost of the show by contributing on our Patreon page, accessible through the Help Us link on our homepage. We really can't thank you enough for spending time with us. Until next time, this has been ORly Radio, part of the Common Services Network. Music Rocket and Pangea provided by Kevin MacLeod at Incomptech.com.